Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle. Let me open my notes. This is the third season of Vampire the Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness. We are on Season 3. As a warning, this is a mature game and explores some dark and troubling themes. These may include body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and many others. Our players have discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. The players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards in our private chat, or throw up like an X symbol, throw up their hands, just tell me flat out whatever works, and then we will move on from that particular scene. And we always do vibe checks throughout. So I would like to thank our returning sponsor, Mikhail Artoya, who creates these beautiful dice boxes. Visit him on Instagram, and he's about 99% in the chat, so you can also bug him on the chat on Zoom. Or, sorry, not Zoom, Twitch. And you can get one of these dice boxes, just throw him a couple of bucks, and he can start working on yours today. I may or may not have something coming soon. And Martlet Games. Martlet Games is a collective of TTRPG veterans ready to work for you, from actual plays to tabletop game development, and they're a one-stop shop for all your creative needs. Investing in the World of Darkness streaming community helps keep channels like this one online and thriving. They greatly appreciate any love you can share with them on their Patreon or various media platforms. So head on over to their Twitch, click like, throw them a sub if you have some stuff available, or throw us a sub. We'll pass everything along to them. And we have Dogmite Games. Dogmite Games is the best gaming company you've never heard of. They combine craftsmanship with artistry to create truly unique pieces of functional art for your game. From dice boxes and rolling trays to fully sculpted Valhalla screens for GMs, each piece is created on-site in their workshop in Michigan by a devoted team of craftsmen. And I've got the Gangrel one right here. And I do not have a dry erase marker, so I can't demonstrate that particular piece. But you've got like the hunger.
Okay,
like
everyone remove Steve's health at the same time.
Say
we're what?
Let's go.
This is us Diablerizing,
no.
Steve's NPCs.
Oh
just
no, all Steve's NPCs.
all of the health just go
om
nom
get
nom
lots of
nom
new
nom.
disciplines.
I'm so glad I didn't have closed captions set up.
Ding
just
dong,
yet.
the spot is dead.
Yeah, because I'd be like, motherfuckers. So it's time to introduce our vampires for season 3. Mordecai Mike is unable to make it, but I'll throw his stuff up in the chat. He might be able to make it for the second half, though. We'll find out. And let's go with Abigail.
Hello, my name is Joanna, and I will be playing Abigail, your techie Tremere. My pronouns are she, her, and Abigail's as well, she, her. And I am looking forward to season 3 with 25% less Sabbat. 50%? 10%. Am I getting warmer or colder?
You're getting something.
Okay.
Yeah. Ja.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, aka Doubles of Dice around the interwebs, and I am playing your friendly neighborhood Banu Hakim assassin, minus some of the friendly these days after Sabbat incursion. Both of our pronouns are he, him, and hopefully I don't have to stab anyone tonight. Sometimes, Josh's trying to turn a new page in his life. Do better, be better.
I'm just saying, are you really hoping Ja doesn't have to
not
stab?
really.
Okay, yeah. But attempts were made. And Jude.
Hey, my name is Sara. I'll be playing Jude Duncan, the Brawlin Tremere. She, her for the both of us. And listen, I know we're all worried about the Sabbat, but I'm still worried about the technocracy. I'm just saying. There's some weird stuff going on there. I remember it, and I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. So we'll see what threats we have to deal with, but I'm ready. Let's go.
Joke's on you. I'm not wearing shoes. Duran.
Happy time zone, people. My name's Cliff. I am playing Duran Giovanni this evening. We're both he and him. And I am very much looking forward to season 3 with 18% more diablerie. And as for shoes, I have several pairs of very stylish shoes, so I am more than willing to assist them in dropping.
Are you wearing them all at the same time, though?
I'm not going to say anything because that would give away certain secrets.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so kicking off season 3, we are going to start off kind of where season 2 almost ended. There was a bit of a cliffhanger. There was this Sabbat incursion and the fighting amongst the various factions in the Camarilla, the Anarchs, the Sabbat. It was pretty much just a shit show of everybody fighting everybody. The Coterie had a 3-parter at the tail end of that season, and there was a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of the 3rd part.
Could you just say a suspenseful rap? This cliffhanging thing is really...
I mean,
I love a good dad joke. That was great.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe. So when last we saw the Coterie, they had all kind of gone their separate ways. In part of these separate ways, Ja and Abigail ended up on the second last of the other show, which is over there on the YouTubes, for the second last Vancouver Adjacent by Night coming soon. And Duran had gone back to the safe house and was greeted with someone who had red hair, who, when last he had seen anybody like that, she was running away from where Giancarlo Giovanni had expired. And Duran came into the room. Resica, I believe, told him to probably leave his main weaponry outside, as she kind of knew how he would probably react. And he was introduced to the woman with the red hair who was sitting in his safe house. And that's where we're going to pick up this particular scene after said woman with the red hair called Duran cousin.
Okay, so I'm going to give her a momentary look, and then I'm going to do this. Resica, where are our guests, young Jacob and Gretchen?
They are further in, sir.
See, in or near the panic room?
Yes, they're in the panic room.
Bien. What I would like you to do is make them up some sleeping space for tonight because the sun is rising soon. The second question I have is, you apparently know more than I do about this person in front of us. What do you know about this person in front of us?
I don't
Why
know.
are they here? Why did you let them in? And why did you ask me to put my gun down before I stepped further in?
I don't know how, but this is your cousin, Giancarlo.
And what leads you to believe that this is my cousin, Giancarlo?
They know all of the secret words, the secret passcodes that...
Most of the family would know the passcodes. It would not necessarily have to be Giancarlo.
They know certain things about certain holdings.
Bueno.
That they're not supposed to know.
If you would be so kind as to go and take care of our guests and settle them in for the night, I would respectfully request that you make sure that you are also being set up to be kept safe through the day. The things seem to be toning down out there, but we still don't know who has eyes on this haven. While I deal with Giancarlo, you look better than the last time I saw you. Less portly.
It certainly takes some getting used to, I suppose. I'd heard stories about this sort of thing happening, but I had no intention whatsoever of experiencing it myself.
I have heard somewhere between a rumor and legend about this sort of thing happening, that it took one of great willpower and one of fairly weak willpower in order for it to be effective. I do know that when one sups deeply of the soul, one can often hear echoes in the back of one's head. So you were last in the hotel room we had arranged, and bring me up to speed. How you ended up in such a... It looks like it would possibly be a little more durable in some ways. I'm not sure. Flexible? Faster?
Not really. As far as I could tell, this was one of the... How do they put it? The old types. They put it something like the bringer of Gehenna, the Finnish bloods.
Oh. Well, that's disappointing.
But now, and this is weird. Well, the entire situation's kind of weird.
See, I have seen Disney movies that make more sense than this.
Yeah. I now have seemingly access to some of our gifts. I am stronger than I think this body should be. As an example.
Bueno. If it is a thin blood and your distance from our progenitor and everything taken into account, it would have brought them closer, strengthened the blood.
Apparently.
Now, I don't know if it would have strengthened it to the point that you were previously, but it would be better than being
being a thin blood.
See. They're mostly a waste of
blood,
and flesh.
Yeah,
they have their uses, like most people, but that is having a different face is an advantage. Okay, that explains why I could not find you as a spirit, which is
we should clear something up. I understand this situation is extremely weird. We should, and she explains the passcode type situation to you, gives you the accurate passcode as you were expecting from Giancarlo upon your first meeting.
Bueno. Thank you. I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
I was not going to ask. And
it's been a bit of a night.
Vancouver has been the weird. Welcome to the end of Canada, the tail end of whatever is. This is a strange city, rife with opportunity, but such a strange city.
Give me a wits and awareness.
Oh boy!
First roll of the season.
Okay, which is it's a good roll. Okay, I'll do that. Let's find a couple of others. Well, let's see what we do for the first roll. Oh, hey, that's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a good first roll.
It takes you a couple minutes in this particular conversation to kind of, have your brain latch onto it, but you've met Giancarlo in the past, and the mannerisms that this particular woman is using are like spot on. It's like she has either watched a massive amount of Giancarlo videos, which why would anybody who do such a thing at all?
Yeah, but at the same time, being Cliff out of game, the person that I am, and knowing about body language and stuff from various, there are certain things and tells you can't fake. It would look really weird to start, and then the back of the brain we go, no, that's Giancarlo.
Yeah.
It's Giancarlo with about 80 pounds less, which is really kind of weird the way he moves, but okay, that's so and it would be speech mannerisms as well. So okay, I can.
So there's apparently a Sabbat attack happening.
See, you were caught in the middle of it, which is the timing for your visit could have been better. This is going to be very interesting having you go home and make any report, because they're not going to expect. They're going to expect the Giancarlo who left Venice, which is not the Giancarlo who's coming back.
Clearly not.
See, this is I can offer you a safe place to sleep tonight, and then tomorrow we can make some phone calls. I would think we should do actual things with the Skype or Zoom or something, so that there are faces to be seen, so that we can soften the blow for when you return home, that they are expecting something like this to happen. I would think that some of our elders are probably a little more familiar with this sort of thing happening. It could be seen as a great advantage. Giancarlo is dead, so anyone that had it in for you will be happy that you are dead, and yet you are not. So you are still carrying all of that information and all of that knowledge.
That's where you come in.
Bueno. Okay.
I have a list.
See?
There are certain family members, and I use the term loosely, who may have had it out for me in the past. We should probably have Giancarlo not be there entirely anymore, and if you would do me this favor, it would be extremely appreciated. Just hold on to my holdings for a time.
That
while I
can be arranged.
Take care of some things.
Now is a good time to do that sort of thing. They would not see you coming because they do not expect you looking like you are looking right now.
That's immediately where my mind went to.
See, and without the hocus pocus that some of the clans can do to change the face, which other clans can see through. You cannot be seen through this way. Auspex is not going to say, hey, that person's wearing a mask of some sort. Nope. It's going to say, no, that is someone who does not look like Giancarlo. So we should not suspect that is that person.
And it would be really hard to readjust what I used to look like to what I look like now with...
Oh, see, no, I would not go to a flesh changer. Oh, no. No, I do not trust the flesh changers to begin with.
Prince's reaction.
that is not a... We had the one in the coterie for a bit, and no, they are... Disturbing is a good word for it.
Eccentric is what I would go with.
Eccentric, see, that is a kind word. And,
I think we're being nice right now.
See, and she was helpful and beneficial to the group. It was afterwards we found out that she was who she was and not who we thought. So, see, we can go with eccentric or a little strange around the edges.
So, I'm sure you feel the same, that it is getting to be about that time.
See, there are several rooms below this one, which are sealable and lockable from the inside so that you are safe. And I will see you upon rising. As you can tell from my pallor I like to sleep in a little bit lately. You may or may not, depending on this new body of yours. It may have new. Interesting.
Hmm.
Huh. We shall have to see. Resica is, of course, at your disposal to bring you anything that you will need. Um, Standard Mikase Sukasa.
Excellent. We can discuss more over the next couple of days.
Bueno,
I
si.
feel I'll have to get used to this particular body.
Si, I can understand that. I think the family will recover fairly quickly. Those of you who you share this with, I'm thinking there's also an advantage to just being someone completely new, even among the family.
Indeed. So, cousin, I will take my leave.
Bueno, sleep well. Wake rested.
You as well. And we can get into a bunch of that little plotting and scheming stuff at a perhaps Patreon content kind of way later.
Oh, yes.
And we'll fast forward now to a couple days later. The fires have died down. The fighting seems to be semi-close. There's the odd skirmish in downtown Vancouver. The fighting seems to be mostly in East Van and the Surrey area. But fighting seems to have all but ceased in Vancouver. So, life seems to be going back semi to normal. The library itself is under repair due to the top floor maybe having a bit of a problem. The repairs seem to be getting done on Sandwich, the window that was taken out, fairly quickly replaced. But, it was, by fairly quickly, I mean within a day or two, as opposed to you just call them up and then it's done. Because, there's a lot of smashed windows and such going around the Vancouver area these nights. So, what is everyone doing?
Well, in the couple of nights since, Jude primarily would be like trying to rendezvous with Gretchen to just try to give her a crash course a little bit if there's time to like just give her as much information as possible. She also wants to get to know Gretchen. Like who she is, does she have family, partners, close friends? Like where is she from? Like Jude wants to like understand and like have an informed view of Gretchen's existence basically.
Every time you kind of bring up those particular things, she kind of skirts past it with a Ron Perlman reference.
I was afraid of that.
Yeah.
I was afraid of that. Okay. So I imagine at a certain point Jude probably would have given up then if she kept doing it time and time again. She probably just would have been like, all right, if you don't want to say, then I'm not going to get it out of you.
There's a lot of Don't Look Up references because that's the latest Ron Perlman movie that I know of.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that actually. So other than that, I'm assuming I would have been able to feed in those couple of days.
Oh yeah,
my hunger was
everybody
spicy.
would be hunger one now.
Okay, super. Just wanted to check.
Somebody put another Ron Perlman movie in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's right. That one too. Jeez, yeah, he's really working. So other than that, I think she would probably try to be at Sandwich as much as possible to oversee like the repairs and to make sure like to start getting more security measures figured out possibly.
Okay.
and being at the chantry to sleep, and I think really trying to just keep herself busy. I think there's a lot still on her mind. She was kind of like at the end of the last season had that kind of like difficulty with this gray area that everything seems to be in, with this no winners and losers. It's just this protracted battle. So I think she's thinking a lot about that, and probably either trying to talk to Cassius or to read some of the material that's at the chantry about like the history of the Tremere.
Cassius would kind of stack you up and rope Abigail in there as well to, like, here's stuff about the Anarch Revolt. Here's stuff about the Sabbat. Here's stuff about the Tremere. Here's stuff about the Order of Hermes. Here's stuff about the other mage traditions.
Yes.
Yeah, just like books upon books upon books of like
Jude
ancient tomes that you have to like.
I love it. Great stuff. So Jude would be any free time she would be spending just looking into these different kindred histories to try to understand. And I imagine this night a couple days later, she's probably at Sandwich organizing things. She probably brought, if she was allowed to bring any of the books outside of the chantry, she probably have
not.
them. Probably not any of them. Okay, that's fine. So maybe she's just reading some general world history. So she's kind of like reading about that. Is Gretchen with me?
Gretchen would probably be with you, yeah. And surprisingly to you, she takes to being a vampire like that. Like, just you're surprised at how like much she's kind of leaning into it and being perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, her first thought literally was like, "Oh no, I can't be shooting movies during the day." So, I mean, seems like she took it in stride.
Yep.
The only other thing was that whenever she's with Gretchen, probably when she's alone with Gretchen or when there's not many people around, she is telling Gretchen the story of Karna.
Okay.
And kind of indoctrinating her from day one about, as soon as she can, about Karna and the evils and failures of the pyramid.
Okay.
Jude's just a sandwich.
What is everyone else doing while Jude is pouring through history, trying to kind of connect dots with regards to what happened in Kindred Society and what happened in the mortal realm?
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Please. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Abigail would have asked Jude's permission to perhaps show Gretchen some of the rituals that between her and Jude that Abigail had the experience in, so that Gretchen could learn things, the basics of, say, corrosive vitae and clinging of the insect, so that she'd had some protection and stuff like that. Actually, Jude has clinging of the insect, so Jude would have probably taught clinging of the insect. Abigail would have probably taken Gretchen into one of the labs and worked with her in there.
I'm going to kind of have a question about that later on.
Okay. Yeah.
There's going to be probably a scene between you all and Cassius and being like, who the fuck is this? But we can deal with that at another time. Let's just assume that eventually Cassius comes around to things.
Jude is very much a ask forgiveness instead of permission type of person. So this is very.
It's not like we have a prince that you could have asked permission from. So I mean, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Who would I have asked?
And Ja, what are you up to?
Ja's been working directly with the camp, actually, with the sheriff and the sheriff's deputy, basically hunting all of the Sabbat remaining in the city out of the city. And if 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 given permission from Abigail and of himself, he's been taking the Baron along as he does this, because that makes the most sense to Ja, is to have a sword and a shield that is a car.
Absolutely. I would pay to see this.
So
Yeah, I think Abigail would have definitely done that and like said, yeah, Jaw, just take care of him and make sure that he's okay. And probably would have poked Jaw to make sure that Jaw remembers to talk to the sheriff about the whole the former prince being in the abyss because of Huzun thing that they learned from the adjacent crew. So yeah. Sorry.
And Ja is not so subtly dropping hints about how the Camarilla and Vancouver need to change, and he knows some people who can change it.
Yeah, any mention like that near Bo and Rico, and he just kind of bristles a bit, grunts.
Absolutely no fucks given by Ja. Ja is like completely unflapped by this. He just keeps dropping these throughout there. Like, I know really good people, and some other people just aren't going to be here to take on the roles they need to take, in the coming days. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
And the night before this particular, the night that we were fast forwarding to, Bowen would have told you to go to Sandwich the next night.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'd have gone. Not because he told me to, but because I feel like this ties together.
Yeah. Duran, what are you doing at this particular evening as it begins?
Well, the waking up the next evening, first of all, as I had promised, I would have walked Gretchen down to Sandwich to Jude, and then basically let Jude know to let anyone else know I'm going to need a night or two. And then go back to the Haven and sit down with Giancarlo and go through communicating with only a couple of the higher ups about what has gone on. Again, keeping it very undercover, very under wraps, but recommending that, one or two of the family elders should know this has happened. Going through basically what I would have gone through with Giancarlo anyways. This is what we've got going on in Vancouver. Here's where the family has got connections to the Ventru clan and Johnson and the Shape Changers. Here's the deals we've made and the alliances that we've made. Here's where we are ready to take businesses over. Here's where we're a linchpin and we can, cause things to happen. Here's where the Giovanni family is looking to reap benefit in Vancouver, and thus why I should stay here, so that they can still, submit reports and everything else, while still doing odds and ends and bits and pieces, kind of keeping an eye on the news, not reaching out to anyone yet, until the next night, getting up and basically giving Giancarlo anything they would need access to, vehicle, weapons, etc., etc. With a good solid night, we've got everything covered. They're now on their own. Give me the list of whatever. I'll let people know that Giancarlo has passed away due to the actions of the Sabbat, as far as everyone else knows. And then I'll head to Sandwich.
For those particular days as well, Giancarlo would have made sure that you have access to / be able to take over and pull underneath your umbrella certain assets that he had that he wanted to make sure that stay within the family.
Excellent.
Various passwords and whatnot. Pretty much anything you would need short of having his face.
Yep.
Yeah, you would be able to kind of pull in under your umbrella because he's probably, you beg for this one.
That's the whole point of the family. We help out for a profit. A price.
Yeah, you're heading for Sandwich. I believe, is heading for Sandwich, and Abigail may already be there, possibly.
Abigail would have probably, started making her way down there, but at the same time as Jude and Gretchen, safety in numbers and all that.
Okay. Are you making your way down to Sandwich as well? All right. So we'll just have Jude and Abigail being there already. Duran would be the next closest one in the circumference of that, so we'll open that with that particular scene.
So walking in, hearing the bell, looking up and going, fantastico. Mia familia, how is everyone this wonderful evening?
Duran, have you seen Don't Look Up? That's a great movie. Ron Perlman's in it.
I have. Ron is looking a little old. Now, it might be the characterization and the makeup and such, because he was playing an old astronaut who is past his prime.
Mm-hmm.
But the pictures I've seen lately, again, he has, medical
Mr.
issues.
Giovanni, are you criticizing Ron Perlman because of his age?
No, I am saying that he is starting to look a little frail, and we need to protect. We need to protect this
man.
Wait,
can we turn him into a vampire?
See that she's.
I mean, you turn me into.
I'm going to shut up now.
We can turn Ron Perlman into a vampire, right?
No, not yet.
Listen, you were kind of like a special, like it was a special thing that like I made you a vampire because it was like kind of an emergency, because usually there's like a whole thing in the song and dance you have to do when you want to make a new vampire. It's not just like everybody doing it willy-nilly, because that's kind of a bad idea, because then I mean the person that attacked you, that's what happens when people are just doing it with no thought.
And we don't want Ron Perlman to end up like that.
Oh, right. So we have to like pick who's gonna like turn him into a vampire.
Not just
that. Hey, maybe you'll get big in Hollywood. You never know.
See, but you have been introduced to the differences between clans and the characteristics that each clan carries and the stereotyping and such.
Yeah.
See, so there's a lot of argument over who would embrace someone like Ron Perlman. Would it be the Brigade because they are the leather jackets, the tall, tough, soldierly types? Would it be the Toreador because he is an actor and
I think he might be one of them Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
That's the one.
It's like the old movie. You can remember that.
See, I don't know that he's that unbecoming. Though again, these days
think he's kind of good looking, honestly.
With makeup, with makeup you can turn a big into a sow's purse.
Listen, he's big and tall and strong, and people like that.
See. And some of our treasures are best valued because they are here for a certain amount of time and then gone. So we experience them to the maximum.
And it's at that point that Joe would probably be wandering in.
Ring, ding, ding.
Hi, Joe.
Good evening.
Hello, Joe. How was the hunt?
Senor Keto?
Oh, it's been beautiful. The Baron is a most wonderful companion.
He is. He's quite delightful.
Really keeps you from those diableric urges. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, he is helpful, but you do... I'm assuming you were able to keep him fed?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty to eat.
Excellent. That's wonderful.
He has far less qualms with diablerie than I do.
Well, I mean, I still don't know exactly how that works.
Does it work like diablerie? No.
As an automobile.
Sure. Well, I mean, as an automobile, I mean, he is technically still one. He's an anarch baron.
If you go down a generation, do you go from like a V6 to a V8 to V10 to V12?
Good question.
So he might in time become a Model A. That's not good.
Yeah.
Then he becomes a cart. Then he becomes like the
No.
Flintstones car
I
or
guess
something.
only time will tell. I don't know.
I was thinking
Honest-
of engine upgrades, but not like generational downgrades.
I haven't
Like
actually looked
turbo?
under the hood. I haven't tried because I was afraid
I
that
wonder
he
if
might.
we could turn him into a drag racer.
I mean, that could be interesting.
Perhaps he becomes more powerful, and so we have like a transformer, and he becomes a big
We've talked. He has an interesting
multi-wheeler
communicating.
vehicle, truck.
I'm
If you
just
ask
wondering.
him which area to shoot, blood from, you can sort of make your own language with him.
He does have a way with everybody, different mannerisms and things like that. I'm just wondering if we were ever to actually find out how to get him back into his Baron format, his kindred format, whether or not that diablerie would actually take effect. Or maybe he'd become like a
I was gonna say lost all his humanity, but like he lost all his humanity already.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, would he get his humanity back if he became a baron? Would he even have lost humanity as a car?
This is
Like-
too much
Oh my
philosophical
God.
for me.
I know.
Yeah, this is a
Too much
lot.
for this evening.
So Abigail, I don't know if you have been looking and Jude is kind of like scrolling her phone. Like, I'm interested in what is like the local news saying about what's going on, like the fires, and like, are there reports coming in, or what does the news say?
The local news is kind of like they're thinking it's gang warfare because somehow somebody who twists arms at media stations and police stations and such have been working to cover up said things in the background.
Right,
See.
that's what I expect, but I'm kind of like, who is doing that?
We need to
the
do
sheriff?
we need to do some reaching out to
I
find
have
out.
no idea. I've been traveling with sheriff. As a matter of fact, the sheriff told me to come back and visit you all.
I think we should.
I think the
we should.
Venture were handling it.
Perhaps. I think we should convene downstairs and have a little chat about Vancouver tomorrow. That's a snappy saying, Vancouver tomorrow. We should work.
It's like a tourism slogan.
See, we should work for the tourism
Yes.
board.
Gretchen, can you while you're up here, like while you're doing your regular stuff while we talk down there, can you just like look up some stuff about like night schools in the area?
Are you going to night school?
I mean, maybe.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, I could probably find something.
Yeah, just like community college. Do they have that here? I don't know.
Sort of.
See,
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So just send me a couple links.
All right.
Cool. Thank you. And then Jude will start making her way toward the hidden stairwell.
And everyone else.
Yep. Oh, and as a note, when young Jacob was let go, I would have supplied him with a cell phone and told him to find Frank. I would like to speak with Frank, please.
Okay.
So, and given him a cell phone, so with one number in it, mine, so that he can reach me and I can reach him.
Fair enough. So, you all make your way downstairs. You go put the key into the table. The bottom part of it drops down slowly. You can hear like kind of the... You're not sure why it would have this sound, but it's kind of like the grinding of like stone on stone as each step goes down to its set position, and then you all go into your giant underground basement.
I'd like to sense the unseen.
Sure.
Yes.
Give me a roll.
Me as well.
All right. I'll give you wits and aspects. Or do you want resolve and aspects?
Up to you.
Okay.
Whichever one has the highest amount of dice, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
Witty specs.
That's literally 0.
3 successes for me.
Wow.
You close your
Wow.
eyes. You're kind of a little bit distracted, Jude, of like, because on the corners you can see like the kind of the ring that's on the outside of the kind of protection against spirits ring that is always there. So there's probably a little bit of haze in here from, various smelting things that have been going on.
True.
For Abigail, you don't see anything.
There doesn't seem to be anything here. I mean, that's what I was hoping for, but it looks like we don't have any unwanted guests at the moment.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before we did anything.
Oh, absolutely. With everything that's been going on, I don't blame you.
Yeah. So it seems like things are kind of dying down. I mean, I don't know. Like, Jaw, did you have to were there many Sabbats still? Or like, what do you think? What's your assessment?
Normal number of shovel heads, but nothing too dangerous.
Okay.
Hunted down a few bishops. Most of them ran. Chickens.
So we have a city in which we have we are perhaps, I don't know, from what I've seen, the group with the strongest alliances between us and influences.
Speaking of which,
were Senior Strickland here, he could speak to the influences among the humans as well. How are we rebuilding this? The prince and seneschal seem to be in the wind.
Well, I mean, Duran, that's actually a really good point. So at one point, quite some time ago, I kept hearing a voice, and it sounded like a disjointed voice asking for help, things like that. Typical. It is what it is. Premonitions, things like that. Anyway, apparently the prince, the former prince, Prince Bastian, has actually been trying to reach out. John and I were in communication with some people who advised us that they haven't been able to actually act on this or find her or anything like that. But apparently she's in the Shadowlands, the Void. What was it, Mr. Jar? It requires some sort of La Sombra stuff, I believe.
So you were speaking with some La Sombra in the
place
city
over there.
Yeah, the dark shadowy place.
I didn't know we still had La Sombra in the city.
We don't anymore. At least not as far as I know. There are none left.
Wait, so that can't be good. So the prince is trapped in there?
No. The previous prince, this Bastion, is in there. Huzun is a La Sombra, no?
Yes.
So when he sees Praxis, he took care of the previous prince, apparently.
Except the previous prince is actually still alive. Alive, but trapped.
So
she's probably mad if she's been in there for this long.
Well, but if we were able to free this prince, wouldn't that ingratiate us with the prince?
If this prince lost Praxis to Huzun once, then freeing a weak prince to lose Praxis again, we have to be careful who we ally ourselves with. Is it in our best interest to put this prince back on the throne?
Absolutely not.
It might not be in our best
Praxis
interest
right now.
You could
use it as a pawn, though. You see, it doesn't matter their relative strengths to losing to the old prince. If we're in the positions of power, having a previous prince can't really hurt our position.
I
I mean,
mean,
what's their deal? Like, is she
so
cool? Like, what was she
I
even like?
have you spoken to Cassius at all
I
about
Please
what
mean,
speak to
happened at
yeah.
the
Cassius.
old Elysium? About what all happened at the old Elysium at the art gallery? The explosion that happened.
Yeah, I know there was
So
an explosion.
so that was when the prince disappeared. Everybody thought that the prince had been um met her final death in the Elysium. But what had happened was uh, Huzun
So during
had actually taken her into the void at that point. Cassius had actually mentioned at one point that the last time that he saw the prince alive was she was with Huzun. It was an instant. Cassius himself entered a different void, disappeared for 2 weeks. It was all a weird little thing that happened, but basically Huzun pulled the prince into the void when the explosion happened.
that is an excellent play. Now, either Hizun set up the explosion, or he took good advantage of the fact that somebody else blew up the Elysium. Either way, that's very wise. I'll take you to safety, dump them in the void, come back and go, haha, look at me, I'm Prince. That was one of the smoothest practices I've ever heard of.
Damn,
And
I don't want to get pulled into a void.
I've heard of quite a few. That's but again, see, having this knowledge is potentially a coin in our purse.
Well, the way I see it, at least, I mean, I have no love or desire to bring a prince back myself, but my thinking is that if Huzun, which we don't know what happened to Huzun, if Huzun
See,
were to come back, then the best play against Huzun would be to bring the prince back and say, oh, look what Huzun did. Huzun actually seized power in a moment of weakness for the entire Camarilla. I don't think that the majority of the Camarilla would look very fondly about that, really, because it was a
as far
moment of
as
weakness for the Camarilla, really.
why praxis happens all the time.
No,
A
because
prince
of the
knocks over another
explosion.
prince.
The explosion
I
at
see.
Elysium.
Because he took advantage of actually from, yeah, again, it might be the way I was raised with my family, but we would applaud somebody moving that smoothly and that slickly. I could see some clans not being appreciative of Huzun because of what he did, and other clans applauding the fact that he was able to do so with no loss of life. Usually praxis ends up with bodies everywhere. So
It
again,
did,
again,
technically.
there are many, well, see, but that was the explosion. That wasn't the praxis. The praxis came from the explosion, not the other way around. But there are a number of different scenarios, and we cannot predict the scenario. What if Huzun comes back and we go, haha, we have Bastion, and he goes, right, now I have to kill you all.
Okay, what is Hizun doing like right now? Like we don't know.
There is the big question.
Okay, so I don't know. That's annoying.
I
That's annoying.
care.
See,
You
I
cannot
guess
take
it doesn't
power
matter.
unless you have weak enough people to keep following you while you're gone. And if they're not following him, as a matter of fact, a good chunk of the Primogen Council is gone.
what?
Away.
Excuse me?
Gone.
Gone.
What do you mean
No
gone?
longer in the city.
Like dead, not in the city, or run away like little cowards, not in the city.
Does it matter?
See,
Not-
it does.
Well, they are not in the city and apparently don't want to come back.
So run away like little cowards. Okay. This is, see, when rebuilding the city, we need structure and power in order to rebuild the city. Knowing that those who held power as efficiently or uselessly as they didn't organize a damn thing with their clans. As far as everything I have heard, they did sweet FA with respect to the Sabbat. They fought for themselves, not as Primogen. They have left the city. Good riddance. They were completely useless. I mean, the stuff they told us to do was useless. So they were
okay. Then maybe we should just move on.
See, we should.
All right. So what
we are going to need new Primogen, a new prince, a new structure of some sort. What structure are we supporting?
We have been talking about perhaps having Jude become prince. I mean, if we are not to bring back the Prince Bastian, if we're to leave Prince Bastian in the void, and if we are to assume that Hizun has gone off somewhere and is not returning, I mean, would this not be a great time for Jude to declare praxis?
Seize the power.
See? Now,
indeed.
How do cities feel about the Tremere Prince? How would Cassius approach Jude stepping up to the throne?
That's a good conversation to have.
I literally don't know how he even feels about me. Like, I don't know. Does he like me? Does he hate me? Does he want me to be dead? I don't know these things. Like, you can't take a temperature on this guy.
Up.
Cassius
from what I saw of Cassius,
issues with you.
From what I saw of Cassius, if you follow the traditions, he is on board. He thought a game was a reason to call and to scream about Masquerade breaches until Justicars refused to take his phone calls. That D&D thing. So
see, here's the thing about Cassius that you need to understand. On a public face, Cassius will always defend the traditions, always defend the Camarilla, but quite frankly, he doesn't care what you do in your spare time as long as it doesn't mess with his stuff. So that is why I am allowed to do what I do, and why Jude is able to do what she does without being blood hunted or otherwise.
So like a kindred.
But here's the thing. I know I don't think really vibes with my Karna sympathies. So I don't know that if I ascend to a level of power, I don't know if he's gonna then, because right now I'm just, what am I? I'm just living at the Chantry. I'm just I'm not necessarily any kind of threat to him or whatever he's doing. So is he gonna then have a problem with it? It's not that I care that he'll have a problem, but in terms of the problem of me getting fucked up because he doesn't want to card us.
If he sees a benefit in you becoming prince, Tremere prince means he gets maybe a little advantage as long as you don't disassemble the pyramid because of Karna, what have you. I don't honestly think he will give a damn.
The way that Abigail made it sound, he's just for science or magic, whatever.
I mean, I want to disassemble the pyramid is the thing, though. I don't want it to exist. That's not something a prince does,
though. That's the thing. That's not something that that is a clan thing, and not something that is the purview of the prince, unless it directly starts
affecting the entire city.
Exactly. So the pyramid is not something that the prince would have a hand in doing. What you would be able to have a hand in doing is having the influence to bring Karna in and things like that. And would Cassius have an issue with that? Probably not. He would probably, as long as you are keeping the pyramid intact, so to speak, and keeping the peace, I don't think Cassius would have an issue with it so much. As long as it's not hey, we are Vancouver and we are a Karna city. As long as it's not something like that, I think he'd probably be fine.
So the sheriff, I think, would be behind whoever takes the throne. The sheriff appears to like to do what he is doing as long as he is mostly left alone and pointed at various things that he can take his anger and frustration out on.
That's my gist of it as well.
We would want to get the Ventru behind us. Because
I'm kind of broke.
I have connections there. And the Ventru are not just the money, they are also the rules and regulations, but they are also the influences. They are
I've been reading all about that Hardestat guy.
So I have inroads with the Ventru there. The Nosferatu are another group that we are going to want to woo because they are the foundation. And they are an interesting clan and very, very useful for this sort of thing. The Toreador, could go either way.
I mean,
but
Mordecai wants to like
See.
be BFFs with all of
See,
them, so
I
just
think
send him in, I
Mordecai
guess.
is already in there. The Bruja will do what the Bruja do.
I can make them like me.
See?
Bruja,
See?
it should be fine.
I feel like that
Okay.
one I can manage. Okay, so then cool. So how do I do this then? Do I stand on top of the tallest building and scream that I'm declaring practice? What is it? How does this work?
Almost. What
you-
we're going to need to
Elysium.
do is an Elysium. We are going to need to declare an Elysium and get everyone together with the intent to rebuild the city, quote unquote. Once we have everyone together, we can then shake a few hands, talk with a few people, and present what is going on. You are also going to need to, I would recommend keeping the current sheriff, keeping the current keeper, Frank, if he has survived, done a great job. You're going to need Primogen from the clans. I would recommend actually talking with the clans and getting Primogen, who will be useful and helpful this time around. It could benefit the city.
So I got to do like a campaign before we hold the Elysium.
We need to do a campaign.
Indeed.
You need to talk with some people.
Mouths.
But allow me to talk with the un momento, por favor. Connor Lilu. We have an elder who owes us. So calling the I know. I finally get to find out in game.
Shaw, do you want to tell him, or should I?
Oh, please, go right ahead.
Duran.
See?
Connor Lilu has expired.
And you have proof of this?
I don't looked like a snack and got treated like one.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that what the kids say?
By a certain
I don't know, was he hot?
He may have been expired by a certain angry childer. That might be
interesting. If she ever comes back to the city, we own her.
I mean, if she ever comes back to the city, I think she has bigger problems than just us.
Oh, see. He would have been a very important part of doing this entire thing. I'm almost tempted to have the family chase them.
What about Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Johnson cannot help us. He is a shape changer. It would be the same as going to the fairies. They are a different society. They walk into Elysium. Oh God, they would not walk into Elysium. Same with the shape changers. Now they are still allies. They can still help us in certain ways, keeping the peace in the city, putting things back together the way that they should be, helping out the humans. But no, not for the internal politics.
Okay, fair enough. So I guess the only other thing I was thinking of is that, Mordecai's worry about me getting killed and stuff. Like Mordecai was like, that I'm going to have a target on my back. But I want to say right now, I accept that. I have you around me, all of you. I trust that. I trust my own abilities. I've grown a lot in this past couple of months. Like, I understand that there is quite real present danger associated with me doing that. I'm saying I'm making this informed decision. I'm trying to be learning about kindred society and stuff so I can understand how these certain things go and hopefully avoid the mistakes of my predecessors.
See, Senor Cato, a quick question, if you would be so kind.
Yes.
How did the Primogen group leave the city? Was it by land or air or? How do you know that they have left? On a boat. Grazie. This is good. So there are only so many places they can land. Because as much as I enjoyed her fashion, Cassandra fucked us rather heavily by taking down her sire that way.
Why can't we just make this a clean break though? Why do we have to like pursue like yeah, she fucked up a connection. They fucked up a lot of stuff.
Oh, see, they did.
We are one of many people that they probably fucked over. So it's like,
oh, see,
we have to like, what is the point in chasing them down? How do we get, what do we
Oh, no,
gain
no,
from
no, no,
that?
no, no, no. I am not going to chase them down. I'm merely going to make a couple of phone calls and drop a few things in a few ears because I'm annoyed and feeling petty tonight. We will leave
Tonight?
that there.
Just
See,
tonight?
see, tomorrow night I might feel better, but by then we'll see if I have made the phone calls.
Well,
Okay.
so we all agreed, so then Jude will be making a play for Praxis,
See,
and we will
so
be helping her.
let me contact young Jacob and see if he has found Frank.
I'll let the prince know we are going to be convening for an Elysium in the very near future. I'm sure he can arouse a few ears.
Sir, you're going to let who know?
Good old sheriff.
Oh, see.
It rings a few times. Hello?
See, young Jacob, it is Duran.
Right.
Have you found Frank?
No.
No. Have you found other Nosferatu?
No.
No. Where are you looking?
The sewers.
Keep strolling around. Eventually you'll run into one or more of them. Hopefully not in a critical kind of way.
Right.
Bueno. Grazie. I will hope to talk with you soon. When you get in touch with Frank, when you meet Frank, when you get in touch with any Nosferatu, ask about Frank. If you determine that Frank is no longer with us, call me immediately. If Frank is with us, he needs to call me immediately. We need an Elysium called, and he is the only one that can do it, really. I mean, others could, but he makes it official.
Aren't there any, like, Toreador or something? Maybe.
See, we can look at a few things to do with that, but Frank would make it official from the old guard, and that carries some cachet, a little bit of muscle. Thank you. I continue to have yourself an enjoyable evening, Jacob.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Hang up. C. Mordecai. We need to get Mordecai, because if we can't find Frank, Mordecai can assemble the Toreador and an Elysium can happen.
One moment, if we could.
See.
So Abigail, upon hearing the one side of the conversation of Duran sounding like he's frustrated and whatnot about not being able to find the Nosferatu, etc., Frank, etc., burned a willpower and has 4 successes on an intelligence and technology roll to try and find Frank on her laptop.
You get nothing.
All right.
Frank is pretty good at covering his tracks if he was even on the internet at all, which he was.
Fair enough. It was worth a try.
A valiant effort. I appreciate it. Bueno. Okay, so
in getting in touch with Mordecai, that'll have to happen in about 10 minutes.
We'll send Mordecai a text saying, your ass, sandwich.
Well, he does get up later than the rest of us now.
Not all of us, but see, a little bit.
Fair.
See, so we
Prince,
declare...
you're muted.
I said Duran and Zhao both cringe when you said, a little earlier.
So many Diablerists, jeez Louise.
Shh. So
It's okay. Your prince says it's fine.
We declare an Elysium, and then we shake some hands and we take the steps. I will have to promise all of my support in the background, because As much as I have fought for this city during the Sabbat incursion, that the Camarilla will look the other way because I've been helping the Camarilla. The minute I step in and throw any form of support towards Jude, I am now mixing in Camarilla politics, and that is not permitted by a whole lot of paperwork.
You don't have to
treaties.
You don't have to have any sort of outwardly visual support, Mr. Duran. It's a matter of, we all appreciate and understand all the connections that you have. It's about being able to use those connections to help Jude, and not necessarily throwing your support, because I mean, if, with all due respect, but your family, as much as everybody fears them, everybody also doesn't really take the fact that there's, anyway, I'll shut up now, but everything you do is appreciated.
See, I understand. And all we will do is we will make it a business deal. I will have a contract drafted up. And as long as my family is making a little profit on the deal, no one can bitch if we're happening to, feed anything that is necessary into the city to make sure that it is a wonderful, stable, growing city, safe for young kindred of all sorts.
So wait. Let me get this straight. You are going to...
If I make it business, it's not politics.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to make a contract to basically be a campaign manager, and that's fine with the family?
See, if you do the language right, people can look the other way.
Yes, I understand.
And that's
campaign manager.
See,
social media manager. I mean, it's a thing. Apparently, so social media manager,
trusted advisor.
Those things too. Yes, and I mean, they get paid
incredibly.
Now, being the prince of a city does require money, influence. It requires certain things that humans are very, very good at controlling, and that we tend to leave in the hands of humans and run from a top-down perspective. So I would just happen to run the business side of the Vancouver Prince Jude, and make sure that all the money comes to you, minus, of course, my, let's say 3.5% managerial fee. Much less than the standard 11%, and I know I will get shit from the family for that. But I'm thinking,
this is why I need to go to school.
3.5%. See, 3.5%. We're talking large numbers, particularly considering that I'm going to have to make a phone call, and we're going to grab every little bit of what's left of Charlotte Industries. Thank you. Yes. Wonderful. We're already reaping a few benefits.
Exactly.
Hey, wow. Okay, that's actually interesting. Their building is of interest to me technically is of technological interest to me. So yes, I think that might actually not be a bad idea.
The building that got blown up?
No, I think they had a new building, didn't they? No, maybe they didn't.
So many buildings blow up.
We will actually a little bit of digging, because we were very tightly to them through their real estate branches, and we will know everything that they owned in Vancouver and move towards ensuring that it is properly managed.
Well, honestly, they probably left things here. They didn't. I mean, I know she had Charlotte, I think, had helicopters and other things like that, and I don't think she would have brought them with her.
They don't tend to fit in carry-on luggage.
I've never been on a helicopter.
We are potentially going to set you up as the Prince of Vancouver. A helicopter may be a thing that you will have, at least at your disposal.
Yeah, but see, let's be real about being a prince. You get to sit around and be protected from actually having to do things to get your hands dirty. So,
but I want to get my hands dirty.
Tremere kind of goes away.
Not always.
But I don't want it to.
Not always. There are princes who are very, very active.
Like Jesse Ventura or something.
can fight really well and don't end up in positions where they might get stabbed in the back. You see, the active princes like to go out and be the head of the spear right at the tip, and then they get themselves killed by someone on their own side.
And that's why we're right behind her.
That's
So
what I'm
that-
worried about the most, to be honest with you.
Oh, see, the minute you declare, it does not matter who declares praxis. The minute anyone steps up to take that throne, there are going to be people moving against them.
No,
Because no
no,
one
that's
else
not
wants
what I
it.
mean. That's not what I mean. I mean people that I know or that I have trusted such far, when I become prince, they will eventually turn against me. That's what
Mm,
I'm scared of. I know I don't know a ton of people, but and it's interesting because it's like the princedom is like our entire coterie cobbled together. It's Duran's money and family and business acumen. It's Mordecai's influence and charm. Abigail's technological savvy. Jaws just straight up badass assassinry. Like, it's all. So I'm like, what am I bringing to the table? I don't want to just sit back and have everybody else do stuff. I want to be involved. Also,
No.
I want to bring Karna here at some point.
You
And not
can.
being involved.
You're not just okay. So I see that you probably think that this will make you just a puppet, but it's not the case. I intend to be as hands off as possible. When you need, you call. We are advisors, but not necessarily decision makers.
when you want advice, we'll offer it to you when
Exactly.
you ask. Now, at the beginning, it might be we'll be offering before you ask, because some of us are old and have seen how things go. But you, at any time, you remember, you are the one on the throne. If, for example, I said, no, you must stake these two and bury them in torpor for 500 years for being bad people, you can turn around and go, let them go free. And I can do nothing about that. You are the prince. What comes out of your mouth, we will offer advice and explain why, but you are the final arbitrator of decisions. You are the final word. You can smile at us and say, I hear you all, and you all have good points, and then turn around and make your own decision.
And Jude sort of takes that all in and sort of nods, and she walks straight up to Jaw, like, and is kind of like looking him like directly in the face, and she's like, yeah, right. That's true. It is very much like that. Yeah, and kind of looking at him and just going, okay, straight up, can I do this? Am I cut out? Do you think I can do it, Ja? I know you won't lie.
Capable. Yes. Are you ready now? Probably not.
But now's what we got.
Now is what we have.
See, if we let someone else take the throne, you don't get the chance for who knows how long.
And honestly, I mean, I don't bullshit around. You may not be necessarily ready, but if you wait until you're ready, you won't get a second chance. Sometimes you have to take a risk.
See.
Not everyone's Victoria Ash.
Exactly.
See.
Yeah.
And on that reference, it's time to take a bit of a break. So come on back in about 7 minutes or so, and yeah, we will potentially have somebody showing up at this particular venue. So Welcome back, everyone. We have the full crew back. So
Yay.
we're going to open up this particular scene to find out what Mordecai is up to. Mordecai, what are you up to?
Is Mordecai reunited with his retainers?
Yes, this is actually several days after that.
Oh, good. So at this point, Mordecai's efforts would have been a business as usual in terms of the mortal populace. Nothing new is happening. Everything was saying it was slight renovations or whatever in order to basically sort of give the excuse for why it was closed, and everything is happening. Everything is jolly over the season, as it were, and festive. Yeah, other than that, resources and influence that I have going into covering Masquerade breaches, maintaining status quo, maintaining the city, repairing the damage,
All right.
paving the infrastructure, the whole, basically ensuring that, you know, those that don't know, and those that need to know get their ears pinned back.
All right.
His first order of business would be to find the keeper.
You can't find the keeper.
Of course not. So would have stopped, basically done a roundabout route and sort of done a drive-by of the library.
It's under construction.
Good. Yeah, so I guess I will go to Sandwich then.
All right. Gretchen is behind the counter. Oh, hey, Mordecai, have you seen Don't Look Up? It's the new Ron Perlman movie. He's in it. He's not really the main character. He's just in there. It's really good.
It's quite a documentary, isn't it?
Kind of, but not
It's a
really.
mockumentary. That's
Yeah.
what happens when people follow social media and they don't follow their brands. and
Yeah, I
trust the people
suppose-
that know what they're doing, and instead they follow their hearts or their stupidity, whatever it is.
That's true. And then she's like, yeah, everybody else is downstairs, and she goes back to looking at her phone.
Indeed. And yeah, so Mercy comes in with him, and is much more paranoid. Basically, walks him to the door, fully armed, completely like down to the whole, SWAT team, Lara Croft sort of looking. Isn't taking any shit from anybody.
All right.
Gives her a kiss goodbye. She basically goes back out to the car. Do I actually know about the actual switch, or is there a key?
There is a key, but Abigail has one, and Jude or
Are
apparently
the
has
stairs
one.
up? Is there actually access, or?
Did you all put the stairs up?
Nobody
we
said they
forgot.
were putting the stairs back up.
I mean,
so
we didn't
they're
say
down.
it, so
Yep.
no.
They're down.
Yep, the stairs are down. Fortunately for you, I didn't have anything planned this particular episode.
So I'm going to unseen presence. Draw a gun.
Right.
Does Abigail still have whatchamacallit?
Sense the
Sense
unseen?
the unseen?
Yes.
So do
Okay.
I, yeah.
Mordecai, give me a stealth check.
Stealth check? I don't even have that as a skill.
Ah,
I think. Hold on, where's my...
It'll be Dex and stealth.
Where's my character sheet?
I don't know. Where's your character sheet?
Stealth. Dex? Wow, okay.
Or just straight up Dex, I'm guessing.
That would be a straight up Dex roll. 2 successes, though. I
Not quite.
am on fire.
Abigail would be the one who would notice with the 3 successes.
Stand at the doorway, basically just inside the whatever. Aim a gun at Jude.
Hello, Mordecai. How are you this evening?
Hola. We're not shutting the door anymore?
I forgot. Sorry.
And that's why you're dead.
no.
I'm
Close
not
it
going
down.
to allow you
I-
to George Bluth from Arrested Development me. Don't try to teach me.
Shut the door.
I disagree.
Prince
All
of-
right.
First of all, 2 points, Senor Strickland. One, we do have a first line of defense upstairs. She's not well
Who's
trained, but she
George
can
Bluth?
scream really loud.
Sure.
Two, if you shoot a single bullet or even several bullets into a kindred, you normally piss them off. This is why I pack Dragon's Breath. Your pistol
Yeah.
does not fire Dragon's Breath. Your pistol fires normal rounds. Silver rounds, doesn't matter. Going to do the
Not
same
the point,
thing.
Paisan. The fact that I walked in the first place. The fact that
See,
we've been under
that is-
siege for the
that
past
is-
week.
That is still not the point. If a single Sabbat walked down here with a gun and went bang, they would not last long.
True.
That does not make Senora Jude dead.
I apologize
us
for
off.
forgetting. I will do better in the future. I recognize my mistake and I will rectify it going into the future. There is nothing additional I can do at this time.
See,
You could learn
it's,
some
we
new
were all,
words, perhaps.
we were all. Actually,
Young
see,
ones.
it's still warded upstairs.
Against what? Ghosts?
No,
No, against
it's warded against
kindred.
anybody except the 5 of us.
Garu?
Well, Garu as well. No, actually, we didn't ward against
No,
Garu
I
because
don't-
we wanted
I don't know that one.
Senor Johnson to be able to enter. But no, remember, we warded it. I
sure they don't
warded
like
it
us.
against anybody other than us, so that no Sabbat could get in.
You sure those wards are safe? Did you reward the window?
Storyteller, would Abigail have had a chance to reward the window? Is the question.
Not
Because I
as of yet, but you
No.
remember the discussion from the other thing where it's like the ward has kind of an area of effect. So the other things that you warded nearby the window would have covered that particular area. There would have been overlap.
there would have been a very small area that would have been available for anybody to get into, and that area, well, they would have had a very hard time of getting to it without touching something else and getting severely hurt. But
What I'm saying is
we
racking up
obviously
any-
we
I'd
see
rather not keep racking them up.
we see your point, though, Mr. Mordecai. It's understandable that you are on edge. We are all on edge. Maybe we haven't been as careful as we should be this evening. But welcome. We are glad to see you in one piece.
See, we have much to speak about. We have a whole lot to arrange. We have a party to throw. This is
Yeah,
up your.
that should
this
be
is-
right up your
this is
alley.
Up your alley. See, ha ha.
Party?
See,
Yeah, like
From-
Elysium.
from everything that has been going on, one, it appears that the Sabbat are no longer the force that they are. The fighting is settling down. Influences are being used to explain how things are going on. Senor Cato and the Sheriff Senor Rico have been out hunting and taking care of things. We are at the point now where we are discussing restructuring and rebuilding, putting the city back together again. Two, like the little cowardly children they are, the Primogen group have fucked off. They got on the boat and they went away. I'm going to make some phone calls to make things a little problematic for them because they pissed me off,
Already
because
done.
they have killed Senior Lilu, who would have been an elder who owed us, who would have made things easier to do. But so, and I'm Italian, and therefore, Sicilians, revenge. That's where it all started.
What's the name of the boat they're on?
Oh, we'll find it out.
Because I can make phone calls up and down the western seaboard and make
See.
things really uncomfortable for them.
I was thinking the same thing. There are only so many places they can land, so many ports of
Y'all are
entry they
obsessed
can
with
land at.
them.
No, just annoyed. I mean, do you not watch mob movies?
No,
Horse
I
heads,
can't follow
feds.
them. I can't
Yeah.
follow it
They're-
because
they're-
everybody's always betraying each other. I tried to
they're-
sit down and watch The
Oh,
Departed.
no,
I
no.
could not follow it.
That is
No,
a
no.
very good example of kindred life.
See,
Betrayals, stabs in the back.
It's just
and
busy.
yet,
makes you think
and
you're
yet family, and yet
And-
family. The
and-
Godfather, the Godfather
and-
2, the Godfather 3.
I
the
just
et
know
cetera, et
that
cetera.
you don't want to be Fredo. I know that that's a
I
thing.
know.
You don't want to be that guy.
No,
Not that guy.
no.
You
You do want to be Joe Pesci.
He seems to
But
survive in
Joe
all of them.
Pesci.
He does.
all
Weirdly,
the
he
movies.
I'd rather
survives
be
everything.
Ray
He's the-
Liotta, honestly.
He's the
See?
anti-Sean Bean.
See,
Well-
he is.
Oh, I love Sean Bean.
See, but Sean Bean always dies.
Not
Joe
always.
Pesci,
Not always.
okay, mostly.
But a
mostly.
lot. He does die like a lot.
See.
A lot.
See.
All right. So what are we going from here?
So where we are going
We
from
have-
here,
Speaking of, actually, what is here now? There's
Nothing.
nothing left. If all the Primogen have tucked their tails between their legs and fucked off,
see,
what is left?
the
I mean,
prince,
technically
the prince
speaking, if
and
I claim
seneschal,
rank,
the
I'm
prince
the
and
most-
seneschal can't be found. The only people of note that are in the city currently that has been found has been the sheriff, Senor Rico, and that is Senor Cato has been working with him on and off. We cannot find Frank.
all right. So that leaves a Primogen, pointing at Abigail, and the most senior member of the one with the most status at this point would be, if there was one, ahead, Harpy. If you
See.
can't find anything else.
See,
Well,
So-
I mean, they weren't the entire Primogen Council. You had a Ventru, you had a Nosferatu, you had a Toreador, and
Toreador's
and a
gone.
Sombra.
See,
the
Well, Sombra's
Sombra
gone.
and
The
and
Venture's
who
gone.
else?
see.
The
Now-
Nosferatu's gone, and the Malkavian is gone, which leaves you.
No, but I mean, there's other clans in the
Tremere and
Camarilla.
Bruja. Tremere and Bruja.
Bruja.
And Banu Hakim.
Wait, yes, and Banu Hakim. I mean,
See, now, as far as we know, there is no Banu Hakim primogen in the city. You are the Tremere primogen. That leaves one primogen left, the Bruja primogen.
wait,
who
If they
no one
survive.
seems to know where they
If
are.
we even knew where they were.
Mr. Mordecai, is there no ministry primogen?
The ministry is
We're
not,
not part of the
of
Camarilla,
the
though.
I
Camarilla.
was gonna say, do they even do
Then-
that?
Wait, but then why are you so adamantly for the Camarilla if your entire clan is against them? I'm
Wait,
just
I have the
seriously
answer.
curious.
Ooh, me.
Ooh,
I know
okay.
the answer. Me. It goes like this. It's a snake.
Well,
I'm
no,
trying to
I
do a
mean, I
snake.
get that, but I'm wondering. Yes, okay, so we understand that part, yes, and all that stuff. But if Mordecai's clan is so adamantly against being in the Camarilla, then why is
No.
okay?
We wanted to be part of the Camarilla. It was the Banu Hakim who fucked us over.
So
The
why
little
are you
explosion
adamant?
in, where was it? Amsterdam? No,
So
Vienna, somewhere.
why are you so adamantly for the Camarilla then?
So it's the same reason that Signor Giovanni is business. It's a lot easier when the umbrella is a lot more protective against the rain. The
Well,
Sabbat
but
basically take what they want. The Anarchs are a bunch of misfit idiots. And the only way to get a decent,
Hey,
let's call it,
Actually.
solid base of business is to have a solid base of the Camarilla is the laundromat front of business for those of us that operate
for the embezzlers
a little less
and the
than-
laundering.
For everybody. They tell
Everybody.
you will hear this often. They tell you that war is good for business. No, war is good only for
War is
business for
terrible
a
for business.
very few people. And that is the people building the machines of war. It's bad for business for everyone else. Peace is amazing for business. The only people it's not good for is those building the war machines. And they can start growing rutabagas or building iPhones or cars
Or just the
or
plowshares.
all sorts of other things.
So
All sorts of
basically,
other
it's
things.
time, Mordecai. It's time for me to become prince.
See, alternatives.
I'm sorry. What's funny about that?
Oh, you're far too young and they will eat you alive.
No.
No, I don't
But-
agree with that.
So before we even
You
get there,
haven't
we even
become
get
so
there.
jaded in the past 3 days.
it doesn't require jaded. Senior Strickland, what is the alternative? Who do we hand power to?
It's not just me, by the way, standing there alone. All of you presumably are there with me,
refuse
and
to operate in
anyone.
a Camarilla ruled by democracy.
Wouldn't be ruled
I'm
by
sorry,
democracy.
What?
Where did
Who's-
democracy come
who's-
into this?
I
Who's
didn't talk
voting?
about a democracy. We're not voting.
We're just seizing power because there's a
See.
vacuum.
See,
It's praxis. There's no democracy in praxis.
Senor
Look,
Jude
I'm
becomes-
doing this to make it different. So it's not the Camarilla that you are used to. Okay. This is a new situation. Remember, I didn't come from that establishment. Thankfully, I have Abigail and Duran and everybody to tell me about what Camarilla has been like in the past so I can make these informed decisions. But we're not coming into your grandpappy's Camarilla, okay? This is a different situation now. And I understand, oh, blah, blah, blah. So like you have been telling me, oh, it's all shades of gray. So yeah, is a Camarilla in name? Is a Camarilla in that I'm seizing praxis as the prince? Yeah, but guess what? I'm gonna do what I want to fucking do, regardless of whether it is in line with what the Camarilla is doing or not. I don't know if you remember this, but I came up in the Anarchs. Like I'm literally
I'm well
like
aware.
an Anarch.
Which is why it surprises
So-
me that you, of all people, want to be a prince.
Because I know it's not black and white. It's not just Camarilla and Anarch on these two opposing ends. It's not that simple. It's all mixed up together and weird.
Again,
That's what I learned by being here.
Senor
Is that
Strickland.
it's all mixed up.
Again, if you have an issue with Jude becoming prince, alternatives, please. Because
There aren't any, are there?
I'm not seeing an alternative.
There
I'm
aren't
not
any.
I'm not saying that Jude is our only choice, but I am saying that Jodie is our very best choice. And if she does it on her own, she'll be eaten up and spit out. If she does it with our support, what do you think Primogen do? We would be Primogen in all but name, because I cannot represent my clan as a Primogen, neither can you. Primogen are advisors to the prince, not just representing their clan,
I mean,
but supporting the prince.
what would be the process? Like, I mean, would it have to be Camarilla across the board around the world that would, for example, have the mystery board? Because what would happen if we maybe welcomed the ministry into the Camarilla in Vancouver?
The Justicars would come out here.
Maybe
and
not. Maybe not.
Why would they care with a little baby on the throne? Why would they give a shit? They probably think that I'm gonna ruin it in the first 5 nights.
And
So
they
why would they even
hunt you
care?
from it as quick and put in a puppet.
I don't think
The
they care enough to
Justicars would
expend
do
the
that?
effort.
See,
I don't think they care enough
if they
to
were
expend the
going,
effort.
see, if they were going to do that, they would have done that now. They would
What
have
about
been
these
here
other
to help
princes
with
that were
Sabbat.
shit? Why did they not intervene then?
But yeah, Huzoon hasn't been around forever. Okay, well, for months and months and months. So
Look, yeah, is there someone else older, more cynical, more jaded, more full of the boredom and ennui that you are always describing as you get as to be an older kindred? Or do you want somebody ambitious, hungry, desiring change with a different perspective than all these old fogies?
and could things go wrong? See, could the Justicar show up
And
with
I
an
was
army and
telling
kick our
them,
butts?
yeah.
See, but will they? I don't know. Let's find out.
And I was telling
do
them
you
earlier,
want to go back to being Cassius's fetch people?
Oh, we did that because it was amusing.
And honestly, if the Justicars were to come in, we forged some relationships with the Anarchs. As much as we,
On with the shape
part of the
changes.
Camarilla and stuff like that, we have forged enough relationships that if the Justicars were to come in, I know that the Anarchs have no love for the Camarilla, but if the Justicars were to come in, they would probably be, fucking up everybody's shit, so to speak. So I'm pretty sure that the Anarchs would at least have an interest in keeping the peace and helping us in doing so. If we form
get
these
to
alliances,
a point where a Justicar is coming after us, our problems will only get bigger from there.
See, so the reason a Justicar would come is because if somebody or buddies contacted them and passed on information and said it is desperate, we need to have an Elysium and do what you and I do best: wheel and deal, and show the clans why Prince Jude is the best for the city. I can't guarantee, but I can pretty much say that I should be able to influence the Ventru to joining. I would think that you and the Toreador.
As far as the rest of the city is concerned, I already am a Toreador.
See.
And I have absolutely no plans to disavow that notion.
See. As head harpy, you would have the ability to do better business than you are doing now.
And I was telling them, I accept the target on my back. I get it. I understand that I'm walking into danger, that this is a very dangerous enterprise that I'm entering into. But I have faith in this coterie and the relationships and allyships that we have formed with other people in the city. I mean, Duran said it a bunch of times. We have our little cohesive bunch has more contacts and we've done more favors than anybody else that we know of in the city. So like, why not us? Why not me? We've talked about this before. Like, listen, if you don't want anything to do with this, then
it would need
I
to be
can't stop you.
it
But
would need
like,
to be one of us. It cannot be me. It should not be Senor Cato. Senora Abigail would do an interesting job, but I've got the feeling she would fall on a stake about 2 days in.
I would not even want it, to be perfectly honest.
Senora Jude or yourself. And of the two, Senora Jude is marginally the more acceptable because you work better not being in that spotlight. I know that you love to I know you love to shine and you love people watching you, but I have seen you and I have a lot in common, Senor Strickland. When you step behind the drapes, that is when you really show your skills.
Agreed. You'll need a seneschal.
See?
I assume that, yeah.
Here's the interesting part of this game. We're going to have to swim with sharks.
Oh,
Because
see.
if we're really going to put a Primogen Council together, we're going to have to find the most dangerous and cutthroat of their people and put them in positions of power.
See.
I mean, to be fair, most of their clans will do that themselves. And then once they know that there is a position to jockey for.
That's why we have to get them ahead of time.
So we should find the other clans and pay them a visit then.
As I said, we should have an Elysium and have them come to us. We are not going to them.
That's fair.
We are now the ones. We have to stand from the start to say we are the ones in a position of power. Come and talk with us. I can reach out to Obadiah Ferguson and I think a couple of the other Ventru. Again, Senior Strickland, you can reach out to the Toreador, Senora Abigail, naturally the Tremere, and Senora Jude, as much as you are Tremere, allow Senora Abigail to talk with Cassius and the rest of the Tremere. Because again, you're the prince. You have people who do things for you, unless, of course, you want to do things yourself. But at the start, dance carefully.
Yes, you want to save those showy, let me flex my princely muscle moments until they're extremely dramatic.
See.
Almost always an easy win.
See.
One of those things to just flex a little bit.
Senior Cato, it would be Senior Rico and the Gangrel, as much as they're no longer really part of the Camarilla, having Senior Rico on board as the sheriff would be excellent. Actually, Senora Jude, if you contacted Senor Vincent and talked among the Brua.
The storyteller is away, but I believe that I did text Vincent at the end of and throughout the course of like the 3-parter. I believe that I did text Vincent and was like, hey, like we should get together to talk. I'm pretty sure I did that.
I think it has
Steve
something to
can
do with
confirm.
movies and video games
Anime.
or something, right?
Anime.
Yes, anime.
Yes,
Sorry.
we're gonna watch
Now,
anime.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch anime.
As much as he is a baron and an anarch, if you state that you will recognize him as a baron so he retains his position, he might be able to speak to the Camarilla Brua on your behalf and say, you know, we should support this person. I like them. And smack down.
I think he'd be on board.
See.
The alliances that you can have in the Anarchs, as Duran said, war is not really great for business. Peace is, and if you can keep the peace with the Anarchs, I mean, it's probably good for them as much as it is for us.
How public are we going to be showing a full coterie support of our new prince?
Duran can't.
I can't. The rest of you can.
Duran can.
I can as a business associate.
I'm okay. Yeah, right. In his own way. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now, and Jude will walk up to Mordecai and sort of like put her hands on like his upper arms and look at him and just be like, I want to do this. Let me do this. Let me help you get what you want out of living here.
Number one, a guy.
It's lost on me, but okay. What do you want? What do you want? Mordecai?
My face on a $10 bill. No. Another quote from the same movie. I want unlimited capacity to do the things that I've been doing in this city long before all of this stuff happened. I want unlimited to continue to do the things that I was doing, which honestly, no one's really going to stop me anyways. I want a strong Camarilla to act as a bulwark against transient outside forces that would actually interfere with my business. And I'm sure Mr. Giovanni feels the same.
I mean, okay, that sounds
given
fine
position, given interest, given mentality, I honestly still think that one of us should be a seneschal as well. A seneschal can act as harpy. It's not unheard to do the same, but we need a show of support so that if anyone and any interloper decides to be like, hey, I can just kill off the prince and then that'll be it. But they need to know that there's a force of us behind you. Otherwise, you will get eaten alive by the first upstart ancilla that has any sort of desire for power. What's his name? Lilu would have probably taken it.
Speaking of which, okay, storyteller, while we're talking, I'm going to fish a fairly stone out of one pocket.
Okay.
Duran's pockets are going to be known for carrying the weirdest shit. Put it down. I'm gonna take a paper cup from a coffee or whatever, and I'm going to, while we're talking, cut my wrist and bleed in there for a point's worth. Then I'm going to use the knowing stone ritual and write Lilu's name on the stone, and we're going to find out if he became a ghost, and if he did, I get to know if he's a ghost, and if he is, I get to know where he is.
You get hungrier.
Yep. Give me a second to make the roll.
Dang.
I like this idea.
Or you may get hungrier.
3. Oh, no, I get hungrier because it costs me the point no matter what I do.
All right. Duran?
Si, Padre. Doing a little something right now. Some ritual time.
You know that most kindred don't.
Si, but some kindred do. And again, I'm doing this out loud, looking up at the ceiling.
Like, is he talking to himself again?
Some kindred do. And I will eat soon. Actually, I might have to do this a couple of times. Let me get the few kindred that... Oh! 7 successes.
Give me 1 second. I just got to open up a percentile roller.
I love those 10s.
Why not just roll 2d10 and take one of them as a 10?
I got 4 10s and a 6. So, wait, 4 10s, that's 8, 9.
4 10s is 8.
9. Yeah, dang, I miscounted. So, with the 6, that's 9. Actually, it's 10 because the difficulty, it actually says, is 2.
There doesn't seem to be a ghost.
See, so I do that and go, so, as is usual with our types, Senior Lilu has passed on and left nothing behind. Potentially some businesses. I will have the family check that out. We will own those.
I'm sure Alexia is already absorbing them. Yeah. This might work. Not exactly how I would have envisioned it happening.
No, but
another decade before we actually had everything in place.
We take the opportunities that are presented to us. Now, you did make a very, very good point to know that she needs good seneschal. Senora Jude, I would say that you should make your seneschal of within this coterie, because we are the folk that you can trust. Either
Yeah,
Senor
definitely.
Strickland or Senor Cato are both excellent choices for different reasons.
Would you do it, y'all?
That's what you wanted, I suppose.
See, the big reason, the big reason, the big advantage Senor Cato has over Senor Strickland, whether harpy or seneschal, knows the game. Senor Cato, the point to the seneschal is, if the prince is taken out, the seneschal steps up and takes the throne. And there are going to be a whole lot of people who are not going to want that to happen, and they are going to work to protect you.
I just figure that Mordecai, like Duran said, behind the drapes might be. Plus, it might just be better for the things that you want to not have to be as like all up in there. Or
and
whatever.
This should fear me.
The seneschal isn't all up in there. That's the point.
As the head harpy. As the head harpy, and if everyone thinks you're a toreador, as the toreador primogen as well.
Wait a minute, though. If you're gonna be the harpy, like I've been reading about like the stuff that they do, are you gonna just like write a mean letter about me and then like post it on a board at Elysium and then everybody reads it and they laugh at me because you say mean stuff? Can you not do that?
I mean, don't do stupid things, and I'm sure I won't be petty. I mean, if I'm going to be the harpy, I have to, not play favorites. Now, the harpy thing is a nest of flies. Not my favorite stomping ground, to be honest.
Really? Because you seem like you wanted it pretty bad.
I wanted it because there was no other way to. Well, I had a number of different reasons for wanting it, honestly. The biggest reason left town, apparently, with her tail tucked between her legs. So what are you going to do about that?
Hopefully no more dead roses in the foyer of the chantry.
But currently my company owns her name for use on the fashions. So we might do something with that.
Oh, damn, she made that mistake. That's like sometimes wrestlers get in trouble because like they use their real name and then like WWE, then they like own their name. So you got to make a fake name so they don't like steal your name when you want to leave. Because Vince McMahon. Well, I'm not getting into that right now.
Yeah.
See,
you got it though. Yeah. I assume the dismantling of Charlotte Industries is going as planned.
It will. See, I have to make a few phone calls, talk with some of the event crew, and then see. I mean, the family was well tied into Charlotte Industries through primarily real estate, but several other departments. So we should be able to. We were already working on a pump and dump.
That's true.
So it's easy enough to turn that from a, buy and sell into just an outright buy. A little hostile takeover between friends is always fun. It will give my family a reason to have another picnic.
What are those picnics like, really? I mean, aren't picnics supposed to happen on Sunday days in parks and things? How does that actually work for vampires? Seriously.
Maybe for your family. For my family, picnics work the same way they did in the Victorian period, in graveyards, usually late at night. It's a lot of sitting around talking with the ancestors, casually enjoying a meal and doing a little business. Fewer horses these days, though. Back in the Victorian period, there were a lot of horses. Now, not so much. Now everyone's showing off motorcycles and cars and other methods of transportation.
It's like the reception after a wedding.
See.
That's the best part. Ceremony's boring as hell. So the next thing we do is plan the Elysium.
See. Now, where are we going to put an Elysium?
Something right back where it was.
The library. Well, we are going to have to wait for the library to be fixed. That could take months.
New leadership, new place.
See.
Not the old place tainted with weird memories.
See, it needs to be public, presentable, and safe. It needs to be a place we can restrict to kindred and kindred adjacent only.
Abigail.
Well, I mean,
you might know, right? You would know.
I can look into a few places. I mean, there is the possibility of the Grace building. I mean, it is a private condo building, but if, say, Mr. Giovanni were to buy to the top floor and use that as Elysium, I mean, I don't know what the protocol is for that, for it being a private place.
We could also buy the top floor of my favorite hotel.
You could, but
hotel that we just ransacked.
I have history with that hotel now. I have lost a cousin there.
That's true.
We have lost. I have lost a cousin and gained a weird ashtray in that hotel. So I mean, that's I'm kind of liking that space.
Oh, weird ashtray.
It's starting to grow on me.
Diana, darling, love you. Buy the Grace building, please. Thank you. Make it happen. Okay. Next.
Damn. What is it like to have that much money? That must be really wild.
You'll be finding out.
Okay, I mean, if you
think that's the best, apparently. We can even renovate the basement and make sure that we can hide in it if we need to. Or we can have develop some kind of a bunker system in the first or second, like a parking garage or something, so that in the event of an attack on the Elysium, that we can at least safeguard some people.
I mean, the reason that I think the Grace would be nice is because, I mean, for the Toreadors at least, it has that aesthetic appeal. It's not new, so it's not older architecture like we would have with the library or even the gallery, but it is actually, if the gallery has been restored to former glory,
working on
it. If Jude were to announce a return, say, to the gallery as an Elysium, would she not be hailed as some sort of I don't even know, influencer, a wonder, a miracle worker, that she could bring Elysium back to this place? Is that even a thing? Is that a possibility?
I mean, I did read about this thing. It was pretty cool. Like, it was down in Georgia, and they had Elysium at this art gallery in Atlanta, and it was like all of it's like glass around, and then there were all these like weird statues, and that seemed kind of cool. But I don't know. You just bought the building already, so don't we have to do it there?
No, there's no harm in buying the building. I mean, the building is prime real estate in Yaletown, really. So,
and
turn it into condos.
You can have multiple Elysiums throughout the city. You just have one Elysium that everyone gathers at. Elysium is more of a safe space where there is not to be any violence or politics. Everyone ignores the second rule.
Problem is, in terms of violence, I mean, we know that violence isn't supposed to break out, but if it does, the one main problem with the Grace building is that it's not just a public place like the art gallery or library. It's actually a building that has condos in it. It has humans living in it. So while
Mm.
it was the first thought that came to my mind because it's such a beautiful building, but it's, I don't know. I would leave that up to the lot of you in terms of a decision that would be strategically well placed.
Can't hurt to have multiple locations that are declared safe spaces.
A
No.
rotating
Yeah.
Elysium.
See,
That's interesting.
Plus, it allows people of the external sort, visitors to the city, etc., to bear witness to the prince flexing their power because they have such an ironclad control and influence over the city that they can keep more than one location as a safe haven.
It is definitely a good
I
point.
kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
Which is why we restore the ones that were destroyed as a basically, if nothing else, just a thumbing of the nose, saying, yeah, you wrecked it, but we put it back together, so it's fine.
Just
and
like
we
we're
declare
gonna
one
put
or
the
two other
city
ones.
back together. Oh, such a great sort of campaign.
Yeah, it's great
Rebuilding.
symbolism.
we should ensure that Sula Rose Sea is rebuilt.
I think we should make Sula Rose a part of the Elysium. Make it an art gallery worth going to. Maybe change the name a little.
Definitely change the name.
No.
Just a little, just as sort of a formerly known
Sula
as.
Rose 2?
I don't know. Like,
Well, it would be interesting for smaller gatherings.
Sula
Sula Rose a little small?
Sula Rose is the French language for above the rose.
So we make it Sue.
We could call it Sue.
Oh.
Sula Rose, beneath
Well,
the
it
rose.
is Sula Rose, though. It's underneath the rose.
Oh, it's beneath the rose?
So,
Then we make it Sula Rose.
And we make it Sur la
Sula
Rose.
Rose. It
above
would
the
be-
rose.
Above
Gotta
the
go
rose.
to school. Gotta go to school.
I had to deal with the French during the war, so I mean, I picked up a few things here and
I
there.
only know
I
the little
see.
German. That's it.
See,
That is an amazing idea, Mr. Giovanni. It is an
See.
amazing idea.
see now,
Indeed.
Victoria. Who's over in Victoria? Because I have a hankering to own Hadley Castle.
Oh, that is a beautiful place. Apparently,
and it used to belong to the Dunsmuirs, who are very closely related to the Duncerns, who are a Giovanni family. Close enough that the Duncerns are annoyed that they don't own it. So getting our hands on it.
Well, do they own Craig Derrick?
I'm not sure. I would have to check that.
Hatley's less of a castle and more of a university now.
Man, if I'm gonna be prince, I'm definitely not gonna be able to like have
Also,
a significant other than
Oliver Mansion, also the X Mansion, also
Multiple significant others. You're the prince.
See,
I mean,
What?
it did get used in so many movies. It could
Well,
be a
Hadley Castle as a university, place of learning, excellent place to have an Elysium.
indeed. I mean, I guess Victoria is a little far though. Like, unless we actually took a helicopter there.
We
every
will
week.
make it the summer Elysium.
Oh, I like.
Wow,
I
this
like
is such a
that.
bougie administration already.
I mean,
Do not do
Okay.
things by halves.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it. It's not my money.
I mean, I don't like to talk about money because after I went through the war, I didn't have any anymore, really. But yes, sometimes it is a benefit to have money, and sometimes one falls back into those little grooves of talking about money and things like that. So I will stop now, Jude. I'm sorry.
So what we need is
It's okay.
the Elysium that we are going to gather everyone in within the next few days in order to make the announcements and start reorganizing the city, coordinating the rebuild of Vancouver.
I guess
Where?
anyone who decides that they don't want to show up for Elysium, I'll help them make their decision properly.
I don't know if we can bully everyone.
Not everyone.
Necessarily.
Most
I
people
would
will
not
be
use the
happy to
term
work for it.
bully. I would use the term
Suggestion.
convince that it is in their best
Convincing.
interests.
Oh yeah, my apologies. And it's not as I didn't mean it quite in that tone. It's just it's sort of
Oh,
a
it's fine.
we need to give our kindred public the reassurance of safety.
See,
More
You
so
don't-
than we need to convince them of the ironclad fist of
Yes,
of
yes.
another dictator on their regime.
You don't have to.
We need to
stab,
show them the velvet glove before we
But
iron fist them.
a targeted rumor or two. Maybe
And
a bit of blackmail.
this is the advantage that our Jude has. She is young and has a very strong connection to her humanity. That is a wonderful velvet coating to an iron hand.
Mhm.
Do I
Many.
have to have an iron hand?
Generally,
Yes,
see,
if you
you
want to
are,
live.
once you get on this ride, you have to hold the reins tightly. There will be a lot
Okay.
of kindred who will be showing with intent to take advantage of our Jude, and that is what the rest of us do. Ensure that if any advantage is to be had, it is ours.
I caught
Nice
that too,
follow-up.
Mordecai. I caught that too.
No one else is going to take advantage of our Jude but us.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, would you expect anything less from the family?
No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to try to make it as the whole thing as kind as I can, but I know that
But
there has to
firm.
be an exertion of power. Yeah, I
See,
understand
Always
that.
assertions of power, whether you're wielding money with impunity, influence, or a knife, or magic, whatever works for you. There's always going to be a power imbalance, and we just want to be on the side where the imbalance is favoring.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mordecai and Mr. Durant, how long will it take to get all of these Elysium, satellite Elysiums, I guess you could call them, fixed up and ready?
It would depend on what kind of damage has gone on and the situation, the condition that they are in, which is why we should pick one that is in a reasonable shape now and select a date within, I would say, no more than a week.
I would agree.
agree.
That was what I was going to suggest.
We wish to move quickly, not too quickly, but quickly, because we don't want anyone else to get the idea to step up and attempt to take the throne, because that's where things start to get messy.
That's when I have to start stabbing people.
See, we want to make
Not
this
at
as
easy.
smooth as possible.
Okay, so the wizards are behind the curtain. What am I doing to get ready?
Painting a target on yourself.
Speak
I
with,
mean,
Concentric red and white
I feel like my physicality already, makes me stand out a little bit.
speak with Baron Vincent.
Okay.
Work that angle at least.
See, who is that other anarch that?
If nothing else, to assure him that it's in their best interest that a Camarilla existence in the city, or a continued Camarilla presence in the city, is better for their business.
See, Cat, get in touch with Cat as well.
Oh yeah.
Cat,
Yep.
Cat liked us, so get in touch with Cat as well. Get in touch with the people that you know and are comfortable with. And as much as I would say, leave Abigail to do the heavy lifting with the Tremere, it might actually be an advantage to ask Cassius for a little private time and allow him to play father figure, play mentor, and say, this is what you are doing. Does he have any advice? See, but it makes him feel important, useful, and part of the whole project, which
And
goes
it
a
opens the
long
door of the pyramid.
goes a long way towards making him more accepting of what's going on. Again, much like with the rest of us, you don't need to listen to it once you walk out of the room.
You're buttering the bread.
See, a lot of what you will be doing is making Kindred feel good about themselves.
And listen, that's again where I think I have another advantage. A lot of people are at ease around me because I'm not pretentious. I am friendly. And a lot of people think I'm some kind of rube. So people don't feel intimidated. I mean, yeah, I'm like tall and stuff, but like most people don't really feel that intimidated me. I'm just like a big toasted marshmallow.
We also need a couple of days to get you the right outfit, not what you wore to the last Elysium. That's a little too much power, a little too venture-y. We want
I agree.
We want something that says serious in business, but also says relaxed and casual, so that the Ventru, the Toreador, and the Bruja all like the appearance.
All of them like it?
See,
yeah, that's a tall word.
Tricky,
I was
tricky,
to
but
say that sounds hard.
no, doable. Allow me to hand this to my people. Very doable.
Okay. Oh, I'm definitely interested to see what comes out of that for sure.
See, remember that there are Ventru who put great stock in those who wear ripped jeans because they spent $800 on the pair. And remember, there are Bruja who put stock in people that wear the right cut of suit. So you just have to find where everything meets in the middle. And the Toreador, as long as the workmanship is good, and I will guarantee that the workmanship is good, the Toreador will enjoy what they are looking at.
Yeah.
The
We got
Toreador
this.
will do exactly what I tell them to do.
See, we just have to build the right image. Think of it as Hollywood. Bringing it to Hollywood North properly.
I can get behind that. Except it's a lot
Which means
fucking cold in Hollywood here.
You're I don't know how do we address you now? Your Majesty, Highness?
No, ew,
Princess?
no, absolutely not. There is in no
Public
circumstance
appearances.
should you ever call me princess. No, I don't like your highness or your majesty. That's just way too like stuffy old royal. I don't like that.
Well,
It's
at the moment, you are king nothing. You are not a king, prince, or otherwise.
I know that. Yet. I'm not getting ahead of myself, okay? Like I know that this is still a process.
I'm saying to Mordecai and Duran that we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves just yet, because we still need to make sure that within the next week nobody else decides to make this.
I always plan. I always have at least a half dozen plans for today, for tomorrow, for next week, for the week after. I will always be ahead of myself because this way I can see myself coming and I am prepared for what goes on.
I think of it this way. We are in a power position. And we should play that position as if we have all of the power. Let there be no doubt that Jude is going to be prince. When Praxis is declared, it should already be decided by the people that we're going to make this happen unless they move us out of the way.
When I speak with the Ventru through Senor Ferguson, it will not be an invitation to come to Elysium because we have something important to unveil. It will be okay, we need to start rebuilding now. What are you doing? Here's what we are doing. Here's how we can combine everything together. By the way, there will be an Elysium on X date. You need to show up in order to receive recognition from your prince.
I am really tempted to come up with one like a really long convoluted name, like in The Witcher with like Emir von Emre's The White Flame that conquers all at the foot of the, that seems kind of fun. But I'm gonna have to look at some of the like terms online about like what you can call me that I think will fit, because all the ones that are coming to mind just say stuffed shirt, which is not what I'm trying to do.
You do want a certain level of stuffed shirt for the Ventru, because you do want the Ventru behind you. So when you introduce yourself, you're going to introduce yourself as the child of your sire's name, who is the child of their sire's name, who is the child of, as far back as you can go. Most of the other clans will not care. The Ventru pedigree is very important. You need all the clans to buy in. So you need to basically gently pet each and every one of them in their own way. Again, appearance will be important to the Ventru, but appearance will be more important to both the Bruja and the Toreador. Lineage is important to the Ventru. What you know and your connections.
Either. Let's be real.
Your connections are what is going to be important to the Nosferatu. And actually, most important, the Nosferatu is your seeding the underworld as their domain, so that
I'm a child of the internet, so I can speak their language. You know what I'm saying?
Bueno.
I know. I think I can. The Nosferatu are like the least of my concerns. I think I can appeal myself to them. I believe. And
what about the Malkavians?
One or two that we've met.
Oh shit,
Malkavians.
They are hard. They are difficult to, because they are individuals. For a clan, they are.
Okay, hear me out. With the Malkavians, I think I should just like be nice to them. Like just be. But people are always like,
Velvet glove, iron fist.
I get it, but I'm saying people usually like discount them, they say bad things about them, they don't trust them because of they have like issues and stuff. But like I feel like if I come to them being like, hey, like let's work together, like I believe that you have something to offer here. You're not just like someone let loose that's gonna just throw a wrench in everything. Like you have value here. You have value in this city. I recognize your value. I think with them that could be a good strategy.
I'm sold. Good job. You did the thing.
See, it is an approach. It is one that I have seen from time to time. It is one that generally, in my experience, works. And it is one that I have not seen in this part of the North America at all.
And you keep an eye on them.
See,
I'll be keeping an eye on everyone, including you, in case you start to get a little bit power hungry.
Yeah, I have thought about that. I'm trying to. I don't want to fall into that trap.
Storyteller. I think Abigail would like to go up gently to Jude and just touch her on the shoulder and say, I think you're going to do okay. I would like to have a premonition.
Sure.
Oh no.
I just want to see if this is going to be the same thing that I saw before, basically.
I am very interested.
Am I resolve in all specs, right? And am I rousing for this?
No. It's a silly rule.
I don't think it's a silly rule, but you think it's a silly rule.
That is 3 successes.
You close your eyes and you are sent into the future. It is not the exact premonition that you had before. You see Jude sitting atop the younger, uncool cousin of the Space Needle. There's a crown on her head, and she's reaching out with black tendrils from her fingers, and everyone else, every other that you can see that are kindred, are dancing at the end of those tendrils, kind of like puppets on a string. And then you're back.
I mean, we're not dead, so that's something.
I think you're going to do just fine, Jude.
Thank you.
Does
I
Abigail
mean-
share that at all?
No.
That's not fine.
And this out of character, the only reason Abigail's not sharing this is because she doesn't want to freak anybody out.
Wait a minute. Can Jude tell that Abigail is having? No. Okay, that's fine. Just wondering. Thank you. I'm gonna give this everything I've got. That you can count on.
Knowing you for even the shortest amount of time, I do know you well enough to know that you always give it everything you've got. So I don't doubt you for a second.
Thanks. And thank you to all of you, really. Like, I appreciate your faith in me, and I know you have your own interests and stuff, but for what it's worth. Thank you.
And then Ja turns on a Bluetooth speaker, and Eye of the Tiger starts to play.
And Jude starts shadow punching in the air and running around the basement, just being like,
We are going to have to talk a little bit about public image.
I'm just doing this now because
No.
it's just you guys.
See-
I'm not gonna
see,
do this.
This works.
Get out of your system now.
Wait, Joe, wait. I've been practicing dancing. Check it out.
Oh no.
And I will make the roll. I will do it. Because guess what? I put points.
I didn't even-
put points. I put points.
I didn't even have to unmute, and she's already like, yeah, I'm going to make the roll. I know what it is. I'm done.
I am gonna make the roll. You can't stop me. Wait a minute. Is it Dex? Is that the attribute?
It'll be Dex and
Okay.
yeah.
And performance, which
unless
I've
you're
got
performing
now.
in Stomp, in which case it's going to be strength and performance.
No, that's not how I'm trying to dance. To burn a willpower, because why
I
not?
was just waiting for that. I was like,
Why
"You
not?
blow willpower."
Doesn't Gerard have that thing that does the willpower roll for free?
No, it's all good. I got 4.
It's pretty good dancing.
Pretty good. Yeah. I'll take pretty good.
I mean, it's no stomp, but
See, I'm practicing. I was practicing.
I thought you were gonna start with the Running Man, and I was just gonna be like, "Go, just go."
No Running Man.
I mean, the whole introspection of the monkey in between the sprinkler and it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's genius,
Yeah.
but it seemed to work.
I think so.
Bueno, we have a plan.
Well, we have 12% of the plan.
Actually, I think we've
Got
got
our
about
work cut out for us.
183% of a plan. We just have to figure out which parts to keep and which parts to
How to make it work.
see.
As creators of anything, you have to know how to edit yourself.
I will do that in post.
How sweet. Cut things out.
Oh, see. My family
Yeah,
knows how this works.
gently
I will do that
caresses
in
his
post.
sword.
Oh yeah.
I think Abigail's going to send a text message to Cassius
Okay.
saying, "We need to talk ASAP. Good things and bad, but I need an evening of your time."
if ever there was a time for an emoji that goes like this,
I mean, I'm sure there's a GIF
it'd
out
be
there.
now. Yeah, that for
The side eye
everybody,
GIF.
for everybody who can't
The Muppet
see,
side eye.
for everyone who can't see what I was just about to, what I just did, it's a looking at the camera and blinking a lot with a very unimpressed look on my face.
Jim, is that you?
That's pretty much what Abigail gets back in a text.
Okay. And then Abigail sends a message to Kevin saying, just a heads up, might need a quick extraction plan
Nice. Nice.
for myself
Nice.
and 3 others.
You're
And
even
so-
behind.
I'm
And
personally, if you say that out loud, it's kind of like, which one of us is going to be dead? I wonder.
Yeah, Abigail wouldn't say that out loud.
No, you just get back from Kevin. Done.
And then a text of my own to Baron Vincent saying, hey, heard Orin High School Host Club is good. That sounds like what I want to watch. Anime soon?
I'm going to let Joe respond to that when
Sure.
we talk to Joe next.
That's
Quick
fine.
text to Diana. Buy Sula Rose.
You get it.
Rebrand.
Yeah, that's something I was meaning to bring up because I had to deal with the cat. There's no way Mordecai has enough money to buy the entire other building. That's all condos in downtown
fair.
Vancouver.
No fair. Okay. I wasn't sure what the building was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the Grace is a condo building, but it's like, that's why I said the top floor penthouse, because
Yeah,
it's a gorgeous
that.
building. But
Yep.
Yeah,
Buy the thing.
they would have been able to do like the top floor for the
Yep.
most part, but
Whatever works.
the entire building is that's.
I mean, eventually.
I don't even know if Bezos has enough money for that. It's downtown Vancouver, like condo units that are going.
I mean, what? $1.5 million
Place.
each?
Yeah, that's mildly.
Take me like an entire season, but I'd probably do it.
That'll be something for next season.
And I'm gonna buy. I'll also buy the top penthouse, whatever, and Sula Rose.
Sula Rose. Why?
I'm a Toreador, and no one owns it. I mean, the bank is probably owning it at this point.
Sure. She's confused.
Of course, she's confused.
I'm going to make a quick call to Obadiah Ferguson's office and
All
see
right.
if I can get to Obadiah Ferguson.
Now, I'll take note, everybody playing the home game. This is where my players take advantage of me because I don't have to deal with the cat anymore. Hello?
See, Obadiah Ferguson, please.
One moment.
Grazie.
And there's some pretty fucking horrible music that's being played right now.
Excellent. I groove to it.
It's like the
Hello?
See, Obadiah Ferguson, please.
Speaking.
Ah, Signor Ferguson, you are still with us. That is fantastic. It is Giovanni, Duran Giovanni.
I am slightly removed from the situation at the moment.
Ah, I see. No longer in Vancouver?
Edmonton right now, until things
Ah.
simmer down a little bit.
Well, things are simmering down. And in that vein, there is some repair work to do and some things to get caught up on. I would like to invite you and any of your clan that you can get into the city to meet me in 3 nights' time at let's see, which of my shops shall I pick? Let's say Oak Ridge on Canby Street.
I'm familiar.
See, As many of the Ventru as you would see fit to invite. I would be glad to make their acquaintance. We have business dealings to speak with. You had mentioned Ms. Wong last time we spoke,
Yes.
but if there are any others as well, do bring them along. This is going to be a coordinated effort.
You said 3 nights.
See.
Would it be able to be 5? That would be a little bit more. I would be able to get more of my clan together in
we
a
can
little
do,
bit more time.
See, we can do 5. It is an important thing and should be done quickly, but that does not mean to rush it. So, see, allow it to be 5 nights. Then we will gather in 5 nights.
And he rattles off whatever the date that 5 nights from now is, because timelines are fucking screwy when you do
really weird
3 episodes that are all back to back in the same night.
Bueno.
Yes. We will see you then.
I look forward to seeing you. Have a good evening.
You as well.
Okay, there's the Ventru clan 5 nights from now. So our Elysium will be in 7 nights. That gives us 2 nights to once we've gathered the Ventru. They would be probably about the slowest to get together. So, see, 1 week tonight, we will host an Elysium at the art gallery. So something to dip into the ears of kindred everywhere. If we can find Frank, I would recommend we reinstall him as Keeper of Elysium. If we cannot find Frank, there's no reason that the head harpy can't also be Keeper of Elysium.
How many roles do you exactly want me to have?
How many can you fit in your pockets?
I have very deep pockets.
See. So that's room for very many roles. Unless we find someone else we can trust to be Keeper of Elysium.
I am more than happy to groom a successor.
Bueno. There are several Toreador. And you know, that would allow both Toreador and Nosferatu it would encourage them to be friends with you, depending on who wanted that position. Okay. Oh, I still need to go check out Heffel Fine Art Auction House and find out what the heck happened there, because this is not a good city for Giovanni except for me. And that worries me a little bit. And then there are when you speak, Signora Jude, when you speak with Signor Vincent, find out about those Nagaraja he said he knew were like hovering around some part of Vancouver. I need to visit them. And find out, one, okay, can they be employed in our favor? Because they are generally murderers and cutthroats. And if they're going to be such, they can be ours or they can get out of the city.
Yeah, I will definitely ask him and see what's up with that, because definitely need to know.
See, please. That would be fantastic. Grazie.
Prego.
I don't think we need to bother the mages or the changers or the fairies or anything at the moment. We need to get them later. See, we need to get our house in order so that when we go to speak with them, we speak from a position of solidarity.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Great. All right then. So we do this in 7 nights. Final location.
I would say the art gallery. Let us, if it has been rebuilt, let us take it back to where it was. It shows a willingness to bow to tradition, which is very big with a number of clans.
Great.
Especially when we're working to bring Karna up, we need to make people real comfortable. Huh?
I wouldn't bring Karna up. I would simply, Senora Jude, once you are prince, the domain of Vancouver is yours. You would grant, for example, the area around the Chantry to the Tremere. You would grant the underworld to the Nosferatu. The Toreador will have their little favorite places. You can give them domain. You would set aside a rack, a public feeding area, nightclubs and such. There is no reason
Park for the Gangrelian.
See, there is no reason you could not take a piece of the city yourself, set it aside and say, this is for Karna, and begin inviting people of that persuasion in
Instead of an amnesty.
to set up in that area. So you don't need to tell anyone. That's not their business. That is your business, your prince.
Speaking of, actually, that is a very good point. Any of us know anyone from out of town that could be invited to live in a new location that is a bit more to their liking, favorably politically and or financially? A lot of people like to have a new place in order to do what they want to do as opposed to being under someone else's thumb.
I mean, as far as I go, I mean, for better or for worse, I'm kind of a free bird. I don't have any really connections to the city I was in the past in terms of getting people up here. Like, unfortunately, they're not around. At least last time I checked, I was the only one that made it out. Some other may have scattered to the wind, but I don't have any way to track them down. So I got nothing in that regard.
My childhood grew up a prince, and that's still a bit of point of contention back in my city. So, yeah.
I have no desire to have my sire here whatsoever. In fact, if he were to move back to Europe, I would not be very upset. So, no, I don't know anybody who would think that the grass is greener here in Vancouver.
I have a few family members who will probably end up heading this way, mostly retainers and lower level workers, in order to build a little more structure into the businesses going on. I do know various people of various clans from several of the cities that I have spent time in. I might make a few phone calls and talk with some old connections and let them know that Vancouver is becoming an up and coming place. And if they do not wish to move, perhaps their child or do.
Ground zero on a new investment.
See.
One last thing, Jude. This is probably going to be a point of contention, especially since the Camarilla has a fairly firm stance on this. But what is your stance on the Thin Bloods?
They're welcome in my domain. They're just as valid as any other kindred thing. I don't think there's some kind of portent of some grand biblical war. I think that's a bunch of horse shit. So, yeah, they're different, but that doesn't matter to me. I knew some back in Milwaukee. There were a bunch around. Like, I don't have a problem. They're welcome in this city.
We do have a few. At least there might be more now. There are a few.
Always more.
Yes, there are always more. But the point is that I think the Thin Bloods are perfectly fine because really most of them have no desire to diablerize the rest of us. Most of them. Some do. But there are the old school of the Camarilla who have a very, very firm stance against Thin Bloods in that they all must be eradicated. So we need to prepare you for dealing with such people. These people would possibly, these other kindred will possibly want to overthrow you because of such opinions.
You will understand that I cannot take the same position because it has come to my knowledge that it was a Thin Blood who diablerized Giancarlo. Like the clanless, they are, in my opinion, a complete waste of both blood and flesh. However, as the prince is going to welcome them, I will tolerate them as long as they break no rules. That said, if there are any hardline traditionalists who would take a very strong stance against them, allow me to deal with these kindred and let them know that I'm doing everything in my power to sway the prince's opinion, to take care of these abominations. And she has not listened to me yet, but one day she will.
Well, I mean, that's
Politics.
Play the game.
definitely a
See.
stance.
See,
Fine with me.
Ditto with the anarchs, really. I mean, those same hard-nosed conservative types are going to be intolerant of a city that allows so many small sects, cults, whatever they baronies of anarchs on the outskirts, nipping at the heels of the city.
see, and you can honestly respond to those traditionalists with the fact that you are pushing against Baron Vincent and meeting regularly in an attempt to move his opinion. You just don't
Yeah,
have to
I
tell
can
him.
sure say that. I can sure say that I'm
See.
doing that.
See, and you don't have to tell him that the opinion you're trying to move is on what the best enemy is.
Yeah, I get it. And I know I also
by
I
omission.
want to make it clear. I know that I cannot lead with Karna. Okay. I know that I can't lead with that. I know that has to come later. So I'm not gonna try to be all like out there with that. I understand that that's for later. Now is not the
Gotcha.
time for that to be a thing. So I hear you there. But people are always going to resist change.
See,
They'll resist it violently if they want to, but I'm new school. I'm not old school. So old school's out. Goodbye.
see, all you have to do is make sure that it is of value to the old school that the change occurs, and they'll embrace it. Whether they gain power or finances or whatever they find important, that's all that matters to them, really, when you come down to it.
I mean, practice with us. You convinced me not to be the prince.
I'm more
I'm
persuasive
sorry,
than
what?
people give me credit for.
I'm sorry, you what? Do you want to elaborate, Mordecai?
Nope.
All right. Okay. You know what? Have your secrets. Have your secrets. That's fine.
I don't want to know them. Mordecai's secrets can stay somewhere deep in the deep depths of his mind.
In a pit. In a deep.
Oh no!
dark
In the sub basement of his palace of fuck. I've been to the
Yes.
basement, and that is enough. The basement is actually kind of cool, but I'm sure there's a sub basement, and that's where the icky stuff is. You can stay there. And
What?
this is me talking. Who is used to dancing with the dark. Oh, yeah.
I absolutely assure you.
Pull the other
everything
one.
I do
It
is
has
above
bells upon it.
His secrets belong in a sarlacc pit, and that is it.
You
Oh
know,
call it a nest of vipers.
Boba Fett came back from the Sarlacc
He
pit.
came back out.
thing
His
is-
hand. It was like,
See, that thing is not secure.
See,
There.
and
the
on,
Stricklands are both alike in their
Worst retcon
love-
ever.
Love for flesh.
and on that
See.
note, it's a good place to get off this particular episode before we get
Why?
too
We're
far
just starting to
No, fuck
roll.
into the
Love for flesh.
Sarlacc pit
We're
with
just-
Boba Fett.
Diving in with both feet.
So thank you everyone for watching. It's been appreciated. If there's any bits or any subscriptions, it is also appreciated. Any of that money
Dad jokes.
goes to these folks here. And yeah, thank you all for watching once again. We are going to do some quick outros, let everybody know where you're going to be at, and we're going to then shift you all over to Rolling D's 20s for some more Philly by Night. Is it
Our season premiere.
present day Philly by Night?
It is present day ? Philly by night.
Present day-ish.
Damn perfect.
Present day adjacent. Let's
Yeah, exactly.
go in reverse order, and let's start off with this guy right down here, Cliff.
Hey folks, Cliff here. I played Duran Giovanni tonight for your entertainment and our own because I'm hoping we were all entertained too. You can find me on various parts of the interweb under the Vintage Self. You can find me here on the Saturdays, of course, for the takeover. You can find me over on the Patreon. More on that later. Doing some private stuff there, and we'll be doing some more private stuff after a bit. You can also find me on Wednesdays, probably starting in 2 weeks. With the Changeling 20th Anniversary Chronicle Tales of the Rookery, Toronto by Daylight, where the Motley is finally made it out of the back rooms and is where they're supposed to be. It will be starring, of course, a couple of the people here and a guest from here as well. You'll also find me at some point, as I understand, over on Prince William by Night, and some of that may occur. And we have been talking about doing some one-offs and some other things coming up. So stay tuned because we have plans. And that's me.
And next up is Sarah.
Hey, my name's Sarah. You can find me on Twitter at MC Diabetes. I'm a creative partner at Martlake Games. January is just going to be pretty heavy production for us, so just getting all our stuff in gear for coming out later this winter. London's Bleeding is coming back, my historical Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition chronicle set in London after World War I. Very excited about that. We'll be in the storytelling seat for some other adventures that I can't wait to talk about a little later on, and continuing to play here as part of the Vampire Saturday Takeover, and then on Sunday with Vancouver by Night on Phandalin by Night, the D&D 5th edition game where we are doing the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and Mike is also in that game. We had a great New Year's session, a really great first session of the year, so please continue to take that D&D journey with us here, Vancouver by Night. Other than that, just follow Martlake Games and MC Diabetes on Twitter and social media, and you will see what I'm up to. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Thank you.
So you said it was a great New Year's game. Was it a great axe New Year's game?
Yeah, in terms of my great axe sliced open another member of my party for 15 damage. So there was that. Whoops.
It wasn't me,
one.
so that's cool.
I was glad it wasn't you, honestly, really. I was.
Yeah, can you imagine?
For that, VOD,
horrible. That would be
go
horrifying.
over here. Mike.
Hi. Mike is just glad that his character didn't die this time because of how upset Sarah's character was the last time Mike's character died.
There were tears.
You gotta follow the stream for that. All right. Hi, Mike. I played Mordecai the Kingmaker. And in this fantastic game with these fantastic people, you can also catch my pre and post COVID cosplay adventures at Canadian Captain America on Instagram and TikTok, and CDN Captain America on Twitter, where I do most of the D&D stuff. Speaking of D&D, I am in the same game as Sarah. She plays a barbarian. I play a Tempest cleric sorcerer, who's money obsessed for reasons that no one needs to know about. On Sundays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. PST and Phandalin by Night, with a great group of players. And I also run my own game, Would Be Heroes, on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. PST, also on this channel, where Storyteller Steve, I don't even know where he is another barbarian in the great game things, but you have to follow it to find out why he's in so much trouble, or will be. What else am I? Guesting on the occasional changeling thing, possibly in a couple weeks coming. And yeah, that's it for now, other than this game. Yeah, that's for me.
And next up is Prince.
Oh, hey, I'm Prince, also known as Dimples of Dice around the internet. You can find me at Dimples of Dice on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz. You should be following me. I got cool stuff coming up. Let's see, starting from today, our season premiere of Philly by Night happens after this show. So mosey around and watch me in another place after this one's over. coming the next week, I am going to be in a new show over on the Amphitheater with Duval and some friends. It'll be Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Eualia, a D&D meets Redwall game. So if you're a big fan of the Redwall books, I'm definitely going to be an otter with a twin sister otter, and we're a paladin and a cleric. So if you want to watch cute otters, I've seen the art. It is cute. You'll love it. Come see that game. And then that's it for now. Oh yeah, and I'm going to have a D&D game announcement coming soon as well, because we did applications for the game that I'm going to be running, and I got 241 applicants. So I'm still going through those applicants, but do be on the lookout on my Twitter for who's going to be playing in that game, because I got some people that y'all will like to watch. That's all I got.
And Joanna.
You definitely ought to go see that game.
Oh,
Boo.
I just
but
took
also
psychic
yes.
damage for that.
My name is Joanna. You will find me here on VBN for Changeling for Saturday Takeover. You'll find me on Twitter as Hyrule Gardner. And I just want to say happy 2022 to everybody. 2021 was amazing. We raised a lot of money for various charities. We played with some amazing people, some amazing guests in our various games. So my time is going to be spent thanking each and every single person who has played on our channel, who has supported us, who has sponsored us, who has made our lives better for knowing you. Thank you. We love you all.
And this guy is Storyteller Steve. So we don't have Changeling coming up this week, but it'll be returning the next week. We have, after this, it'll be Sunday D&D, 2 to 4 p.m. PST. Then we have the Would-Be Heroes on Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. PST. Then we've got, what do we have after this? We have the thing on Fridays with Lodame running the game, which is a Icewind Dale campaign of D&D, which is going to be quite awesome. I've seen some of the stuff for it already, and it is going to be great. You should tune in for that. If you like the D&D or the Changeling or the vampires, this is the place to be. So yeah, you should definitely come here and check out all of our stuff. The schedule should be down there somewhere. I think I've got everything listed on there now. And yeah, we are going to hop over. Prince is going to do a quick change. Not really, because we're filming this on Mondays. Sorry, I just broke the illusion. And
My
yeah,
immersion.
Can't give away the magic trick.
My immersion.
I'm like that mask guy in like the 90s
There's
that
no man
revealed all the
behind the
magic tricks.
curtain.
Yeah, so definitely stick around for that. When we get over there, make sure you click on the Rolling D20s underneath the video. It transfers all y'all over, and you can actually count towards the Rolling D20s numbers, because I have a personal plan to get them up to partner. I don't know. Let's do it.
No, you.
All right, and we will see you next week here for some more vampire, because I was not expecting this to become like a Prince and their court type game.